Okay, I think we good. I think we good. I think we good. What's popping, y'all? What's good? Let's get the show started with no further ado. What's good, y'all? What's good, y'all? What's good, y'all? What's a great thank y'all for tuning in to another episode of Can the Brothers Get a Rap podcast. I'm your host, Ashley Lovechild. I want to thank y'all for tuning in, tapping in episode 268. And it's always a blessing to see y'all every Sunday, every Wednesday. Also, make sure y'all take advantage of those memberships. We got quite a few memberships. We're on the road to 20,000 subscribers. We're a little over 13. So continue to like, subscribe, share, hit that all notification bell. It does help with the growth of the show. And we continue to grow each and every show. Shout out to the chat. Chat is in here nice and deep. Appreciate y'all as always. Each and every show showing up in full. Shout out to Ebony in the building. Shout out to Winter in the building. Shout out to Shay in the building. Shout out to King in the building. King P, one of our day ones, our big badge holder in the building, has badge for over 2 years. Shout out to y'all in the building. I'm not gonna say every single person in the chat, but again, shout out to those who stayed live and loyal as always. What's that? Shout out to you too, man. Shout out to you. So again, shout out major love. Also, I want to thank the presenting sponsor of this podcast, which is Button Snaps, where you get the finest of movies, shows, documentaries, and original content for your viewing pleasure of $4.99. And remember, y'all, do not, excuse me. Remember, y'all, do not be an agent of chaos. Do not try to stand out by being a stain. A stain is somebody that try to stand out by being negative. Have the ability to stand out by being positive. Lose that Willie Lynch mindset. Lose that it can only be one mindset. The only op we recognize over here is opportunity. We celebrate life culture. Hate has a location. It's just not here. All right, y'all. With no further ado, first segment of the night: popular opinions. This segment is brought to you by OUV Records. Make sure you go to Instagram at OUV Records. Stay tuned to the latest music and merchandise. The label motto is create, document, and inspire. Again, that's OUV Records. Again, at on Instagram at OUV Records. Make sure y'all stay in tune. First question of the night. What's going on here? Yeah, first question of the night. Popular opinions. Favorite singer turned actor. Favorite singer turned actor on this list. Number 1, Jamie Foxx. Number 2, Daniel Glover. Number 3, Mary J. Blige. Number 4, who's that? Lenny Kravitz. Again, favorite singer turned actor on this list. Favorite singer turned actor on this list. Again, number 1, Jamie Foxx. Number 2, Daniel Glover. Number 3, Mary J. Blige. And number 4, Lenny Kravitz. Again, let me know what y'all think in the chat. Again, let me know what y'all think in the chat. Me personally, all of these artists, singers, are really great at singing. Well, I'll say Daniel Glover pulled it off. I don't think he's a vocalist, but he pulled off some of his songs where he did sing and he pulled it off. But as far as just singing, my favorite singer on this list is Mary J. Blige. But when you talk about acting, that turned actor, that's an actor. Because remember, Jamie Foxx was actually a full-blown artist first. And, you know, he was basically, he did his album independent and such a musical talent. But back then, you really had to be signed for real to really go out to the masses. So, Jamie Foxx actually, was able to, really make way through as a comedian first. But he was actually an artist first as far as what he does. So I'm going to say Jamie Foxx on this list. Jamie Foxx on this list to me is Jamie Foxx. Like, he's Jamie Foxx. So I'm going with Jamie Foxx in the chat, even though Daniel Glover is very talented as an actor based on his work that he's done so far. He's also a good comedian as well. Mary J. Blige, great artist. I'm not a fan of her acting, I have to be honest. But still, she's one of the very best at being an R&B artist, the queen of R&B hip hop. Lenny Kravitz, I'm not gonna say I'll sit and listen to a whole Lenny Kravitz album before, but I've heard some of his songs. He has a great voice, rock and roll type of style. Also a really good actor. In the chat, I'm seeing 2. So y'all saying Daniel Glover is your favorite singer turned actor. Okay. Uh, I like Lenny Kravitz as an actor, but Jamie Foxx is my favorite. Okay, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't understand how Jamie is not unanimously everybody's favorite actor. I mean, Daniel Glover had did some good movies, but I don't think you could compare any of his performances to Jamie Foxx. Even though the Atlanta series is very compelling and is very good, but outside of that, I can't say I'm gonna watch this movie because Daniel Glover's been in this movie. So it's so again, I'm not mad at it. It's all perception based, not perception based. It's all whatever your opinion. It's all opinion based, I guess. But I'm definitely going with Jamie Foxx as far as my favorite singer turned actor. So again, in the chat, I'm saying Daniel Glover, I'm saying Lenny Kravitz, I'm saying Jamie Foxx. I went with Jamie Foxx. The rest of the world at 49%, mind y'all, over 111,000 people voted on this. They went with number one. They went with Jamie Foxx, 49%. So it should have been higher, but all due respect, because that's a lot of people voting. I just can't see all them people voting, and they did it. Like, to me it's like a landslide. Even though Lenny Kravitz has done some fire, some fire movies, I don't see how like it's not just Jamie Foxx by himself. So again, it is what it is. I will say that it is what it is. Not mad at y'all. It is what it is. Like I said, acting, I guess, is something like music where it's it's taste based. Is at the end of the day. So it is what it is. Not mad at it. Just a little surprise. But all right, y'all. Moving on to our next popular opinion question. Favorite hip hop lyricist on this list. Favorite hip hop lyricist on this list. Number one, Jadakiss. Number two, Raekwon the Chef. Number three, Beanie Siegel. Number four, Fabulous. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Now, of course, this question all at their best and all time, right? Me personally, if you know, you know. You know what I'm saying? Like, rap to me, when it comes to skill, I don't think that's taste based. When you're nice, you nice. You just got the skill. Now the style of music you like, that's taste based, in my opinion. Whatever style you hardcore. Some people like that commercial style. Some people like a cool. That's preference based. But skill, not preference based. Like when I hear people talk about Jay-Z, oh he's trash. I'm like, eh, from a preference, you may not like it, but skill wise, you've never heard any top tier lyricists say Jay Z is trash. I've heard plenty of people say that they didn't like Nas type of music because he could be, I don't want to say he could be, but some people view him as too lyrical and he doesn't make the happy style or the commercial style rap. So the style of music is always preference based, but you can't sit up and say that Nas ain't nice, Redman is not nice, but there's a preference to the music, right? Talib Kweli, he's really good, but there's a preference to the music. So me personally, I don't think skill is ever preference based, but music, style of music is preference based in my opinion. So based on that, favorite hip hop artist on this list, me personally, my favorite on this list, and there are a lot of my favorites that's on this list. Fab is one of my favorites. Beanie is one of my favorite. Raekwon the Chef is one of my favorites, and Jadakiss is one of my absolute favorites. Me personally, Raekwon and Jadakiss, they're both in my top 10, and dare I say top 5, but they're definitely in my top 10. Any given day, how I'm feeling, right? You can adjust it, right? But they're definitely in my top 10, top 8 lyrically. Me personally, I'm going to give the edge to Jada because I feel like he's done more in the sense of having more records. Not doing more as far as an accomplishment, but just he has more records. He's last a longer period of time. It doesn't feel dated. But all of these guys are great. All of these guys I would love to have, very strong, right? But again, I'm going to say Jada is my favorite lyricist on this list. So again, I'm going with Jada. Shout out to the chat. I'm seeing number 2. So I'm seeing Raekwon. So y'all going Raekwon the chef. Again, I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that. This Raekwon is a beast. He's the chef. He gets busy. He get all of these guys are great lyricists. Beanie Siegel at his height, Beanie Siegel was really great as far as lyrically. But I always thought Beanie shined more on other songs. When it came to a Beanie album, outside of the Becoming, because to me the Becoming was fire, but all the other albums was good, right? It was good, but I always felt like Beanie shined more on Jay's records or Memphis Bleak record. I thought he just shined more, and not shine more than the other guys. I just thought his verse always like, damn, that was a Beans verse. So I always thought Beans was fire, and Fab, bro, Fab go back. Fab is one of the artists. Fab is kind of slick because Fab really came out in the '90s for real, and he's lasted all the way to the 2026. So, and he could drop a verse, he could drop an album out now, and it will still go crazy, which goes back to another point that I used to say. Legends don't legends don't have to be relevant. There's no such thing. When somebody's a legend, they're a legend. Oh, this person's not relevant. He's a legend. Don't like that. That's ridiculous. Legends are always relevant, is the point that I'm making. So all of these guys, in my opinion, are all legends lyrically. And again, I'm going with Jadakiss. So in the chat, I seen Raekwon in the chat. I seen Fab in the chat. So shout out to everybody that had their own opinion. But again, favorite hip hop lyricist on this list. Favorite hip hop lyricist on this list. Again, number 1 was Jada. Number 2, Raekwon the Chef. Number 3, Beanie Siegel. Number 4, Number 4, Fabulous. 28,000 people voted on this. 45% went with Jadakiss. They went with Jadakiss. Again, I'm not mad. I picked Jadakiss too. And again, out of everybody on this list, Jadakiss just, I don't know. I don't want to say I don't know what it is, but he fits seamless, and not just in the culture. They all fit seamlessly in the culture, but when it comes to making music, Jada doesn't have to switch who he is to make music that today's younger person can feel. Today's older person can feel. Everybody basically hear it and feel it the same way. And me again, me is Jada. So shout out to the rest of the world. They went with my pick. They went with Jada. So I ain't mad at that at all. All right, y'all. Moving on to our next segment, our barber shop talk segment. So barber shop talk for this episode is, again, I'm in the barber shop, and the fellas, you know what I mean. And then you got the salon, the type of barber shop with the salon and the barber shop is all in one spot. You got the barbers on this side. You got the hairdressers on this side. So of course, it's going to be conversation. So the conversation done sparked up in the shop. Which is better, sex or quickies? Some people say, ain't that the same thing? Y'all know what I mean. Regular sex, meaning like, you getting it popping, you're having a good time, and right? Or having a nice little quickie session, you get what you need, and you know what I'm saying? You either go to sleep, or you go out the door, or you take care of your chores, or whatever the case may be. And there was actually a funny conversation in the shop, and it was actually going back and forth. And oddly enough, you would think automatically that the men prefer the quickies and the ladies prefer the drill, right? You know what I'm saying? They prefer the drill, right? But it was the other way around. It was the other way around, honestly. Now, most guys, I don't want to say most guys, but I would say myself, right? Because every guy is different. Every guy has his own preference or what he rather does, whether, you know what I mean, the position base. Would you rather get oral, or would you rather give the drill, I should say, or you rather get, every dude is different, right? And to me, I've always thought that was like like to me, it switches up. Like I don't prefer any of this over the other like that. I don't prefer quickies over the drill session. Like it's like back and forth for me. I think it's all convenience based. I think if I got a little extra time, I'm down for a good, a good drill session. You know what I'm saying? Eh, I mean, but if I got things to do and I need to dip in the pool, I just want to take a dip in the pool. I'm all for the quickie session too. Me personally, I just think to me, there's no like right or wrong. It's still getting to the action. You know what I'm saying? So and then some ladies prefer oral, some guys prefer oral, and again the drill session. Again, I think that's situational based. I think that's also like personal based, dealing on the person that you're dealing with. If somebody's really good at giving oral, you may take the little oral real quick, like, yeah, not me, it's cool, not me. And you take that and you have a good time and go about your day. So I think, me personally, that it's situational based. I don't think it's just all in one. But the consensus for real, for the ladies, you would think they would prefer the drill session, the pound town. Majority of ladies in the shop, they prefer the quick version. They say, yo, they got too much stuff to do to be getting drilled all day. They gotta cook the food. They gotta run to the store. They gotta pick the kids up from the school. They gotta make sandwiches and lunch. And they gotta do their own little work. They don't got all day to get drilled. So a lot of the ladies in the shop, they prefer the quick version of the situation. Now the fellas, surprisingly, I was expecting to hear them say, "Yo, I'd rather get, what I'm saying, I'd rather get my, my pumps and go." A lot of the dudes said, "Hey, they rather have a drill session." I was like, "Wow." I thought just automatically it was always the other way around. So it was quite interesting how people was giving their opinion in the shop, and of course, it was definitely gender based regarding that. Shout out to Ebony in the chat. Appreciate you for tapping in. Again, y'all hit them likes, hit the 100s. It does help with the growth of the show. We're on the road to 20,000 subscribers. We're a little over 13. Continue to show that love and support of the show. We appreciate it as always. So for me, is that facts, less pressure, facts, less pressure, high energy, and done before commercial break. That's funny. That's funny. Shout out to Ebony. That's funny. Again, I was surprised when most of the ladies said that. I was surprised. They rather get it cracking, do their 1-2 step, and get back to what they need to do. But then it made me think, like, yo, are you really satisfied with that? That's why, to me, it's situational based. Because that quickie session could be in the morning, and some of the best, and sometimes that rollover booty in the morning, that morning type of action is some good action right there. Nice little slide in, you know what I mean? Straight functions, a nice little 25-minute drill. Hey, get the day started off nice and right? That can turn into 45 minutes. You know what I mean? Hey, you know what I mean? You get a whole hour and 15 and there's some oral on top of that. So that's what I'm saying. It's like, yo, this could get crazy. But a nice little nooner, if y'all engage in nooners, that's a good time too. A nice little 25-minute nooner, you know what I'm saying? What dude said in Sinners, she like, yo, I've been walking around all day. Homeboy was like, yo, chill, like, this is natural herbs and juices. I just want to taste it, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes it just be like that, you know what I mean? But I think it's situational based. A little crack before nighttime is a good time too. The kids are sleeping. The house is kind of quiet. We can get it rocking and shaking real quick and go into a coma. So either way, me personally, I think it's situational based. But people did have real preferences in the chat. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to Ebony. Facts, less pressure, high energy, and done before commercial break. Quality over quantity. A 5 minute sprint beats a marathon any day. I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that at all. That's why I say it's preference based and it's situational based. You know, quality strokes. Hey, she think about you all day, fellas. Quality strokes. A woman would think about you all day long. Quality strokes. I'm telling you, she's still gonna feel you inside her, even when you're not inside her, all day long. Say quality strokes. Shout out to Ebony. She said quality. Yeah, that's funny. Quality strokes. So yeah, so that was the big barbershop talk for this episode. Sometimes you just want the destination without the 2 hour road trip. I love it. I love it. That's funny, but I love it. I love it. That's what's up. I love it. Shout out to yo, that's funny, y'all. She said, sometimes you just want the destination without the 2 hour road trip. That is hilarious. Shout out to Ebony, y'all. Shout out to y'all in the chat. Again, hit them likes, hit the 100s. It helps with the growth of the show. If this is your first time tuning and tapping in, again, I'm Ashley Lovechild, and this is the Kenner Brothers Get a Rap podcast, episode 268. It's a lot of episodes, man. All right, so moving on to our next segment, our must-see segment. I'm gonna give out 3 Eddie Murphy awards to 3 fire movies or movie series, and it's a must-see. And the reason why I have Eddie Murphy awards, because to me, Eddie Murphy is the most important actor we've had in our generation. Period, hands down. So that's why I have it the Eddie Murphy award. So my first Eddie Murphy award goes to a documentary series that is a must see. Came out in 2013. It dropped 16 seasons. Nonstop. This show is so addicting. Make sure y'all tap in to see the show called Fatal Attraction. It's a crime documentary style type of show where these real things happen, and it's, obviously it's live, dramatized, but these things really happen. You can look up the casework, and all of this stuff really happened, right? When people meet, fall in love, or think they fall in love, and somebody gets unalived, and it's such a good show. So make sure y'all tap in to see Fatal Attraction. My second Eddie Murphy award goes to a movie that came out 2007, directed by Xavier Gens. This movie stars Timothy Buffett, Olga Kurlenko, Dougray Scott, and Robert Kipner. This movie is called Hitman. Fire must see movie. I remember when this movie first came out. It was one of the hottest movies out at that time, and it was such a good time. It sounds what it is. It's a movie about a hitman, and you have to see the rest of the movie. I won't ruin it for y'all. I will say this: they made a video game out of this movie, or no, the video game came out and then they made the movie, but still a fire must see movie. My third must see movie, my third Eddie Murphy award goes to a movie that came out in 1993, directed by Alan Shapiro. Shapira. This movie stars Alicia Silverstone, Corey Ills, Kirkwood Smith, Gwyneth Walsh, Amber Benson, and Jennifer Rubin. This movie is called The Crush. Fire must-see movie. A man that moved into a new neighborhood, and they just happen to have a neighbor that watched the rest of the movie. Again, I won't spoil it for y'all. So again, make sure y'all tap in to see The Crush. So my 3 must-see movies and my 3 Eddie Murphy awards go to the show Fatal Attraction. Number 2, Hitman, the movie. And number 3, The Crush. The Crush. And again, it's a movie. So make sure y'all tap into those movies and or movie series documentary. And make sure y'all tap into the show. Fire. All right, y'all, moving on to our next segment. You already know what time it is. You already know what we're about to do. We're about to book them tickets, get on that flight, and send them to Turkey or no. Again, send them to Turkey or no. We type in T to send it to Turkey, or we type in N not to send it to Turkey. First one of the night. Uh, Rikers Island supervisor arrested over stolen overtime pay. She pleads not guilty and has uh, she pleads not guilty and has been suspended without pay. Hmm. Uh, and when she gets back from her suspension, she's going to be on modified duty. She faces 20 years if convicted, and she's made over 231,000 in overtime, but her base salary was 126,000. And also, if convicted, she must pay that all back as well too. So let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Again, let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Type in T to send it to Turkey. Type in N not to send it to Turkey. I would love to know your thoughts about this in the chat. Again, a Rikers Island supervisor is arrested over stolen overtime pay, and she pleads not guilty. She has been suspended without pay, and when she gets back, she's going to be on modified duty. Now, obviously, if she's convicted, she has to pay all the money back. She made over 231,000 in overtime, but her base pay was 126. And like I said, she faces 20 years if convicted as well. Again, let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Y'all sending it to Turkey. I'm seeing T's in the chat. Shout out to my dog, King P in the building. Hit them likes, hit the 100s. You already know helps with the growth of the show. But I'm saying y'all sending this to Turkey, and I'm gonna have to agree with y'all. This lady is bugging. What is she doing? She made her base salary is 126,000. 126. And you mean to tell me she gave herself that much overtime when it took her to 231,000? I can't make this up. Like, you can't make this up. She basically paid herself another 100 grand and did it on the slide. And then to add to the case, while in court, she says she already book a trip to go on vacation. Ask the judge, yo, can I still go on vacation? No, no, ma'am. So you're a flight risk? You're telling me you're a flight risk? So this is just not smart. I mean, to be honest with you, people who work in law enforcement in New York City, they make a damn good living. Whether it's corrections, whether it's police officers, they make a damn good living. I'm not saying anybody's rich, but you make a damn good living. Anytime you make 126,000 in New York City, you're doing pretty good. You're not rich, but you're doing pretty good. If you make 126,000, you make enough money to live somewhere nice. You make enough money to have a nice vehicle. You make enough money to buy groceries, feed yourself and your family on a regular basis. You make enough money to put clothes on their back, put clothes on your back. You make enough money to go to church and tithe on top of that. You make enough money to enjoy entertainment with the 126,000 in New York City right now. Right now. And now with overtime pay, she took her overtime to 231,000. And I'm pretty sure, even let's say she didn't get the 231,000. Let's say she took her overtime to 185, maybe 175. That still would have been excellent. That still would have been excellent. But the fact that she OD'd with this, and they said that this really came about because she's a supervisor, she wouldn't okay certain people's vacation time. And when people recognized that, they clocked it and they reported her. So she wanted her vacation time, or she wanted her vacation time, but she wanted to okay others. So this pretty much caught up to her in a real bad way. So me personally, I'm definitely sending her to Turkey. First class flight. I'm right there with y'all in the chat. First class flight and all. What is you doing? Shout out to Ebony, faces 20 years in federal prison, but the thought she thought she was untouchable. Life comes at you fast. She claimed 16-hour shifts while sitting at the Empire City Casino blackjack table. Bold strategy. That was one of the other parts that I didn't get a chance to mention. And these are the things she was doing. She wasn't even at work. And if you don't know, if you steal hours on federal time or even state time, yo, that's going to drum up some real charges. And as you can see, if she is convicted, she's facing 20 years. And the fact that she pleaded not guilty, like, dude, they basically got you. So you're going to plead not guilty? I guarantee you, before this is all said and done, she's going to change her plea. She's going to change it. Because to say not guilty, you have to prove that you didn't steal hours. You're going to have to prove this. And if they got you at the casino while you're supposed to be at work, that's concrete evidence and proof. And then they're going to start peeling back those layers. So again, moving forward, I would not be surprised if she changed her plea. Instead of doing 20 years, she pleads guilty. She'll probably get about 8. Might have to do 8 months if she do a solid 2 years. She's a correction officer. And even though still in time is that's a serious matter, doing 20 years and saying, yo, I did this, you're looking at a whole different type of sentence if you plead guilty. So I'm pretty sure that they have her dead to rights, and she gonna be changing her plea. She gonna change her. She must feels that she has a rock solid defense, because other than that, it doesn't make sense for her to plead not guilty. If she's leaving it on the behest of the prosecution to prove their case, and the fact that they're bringing it up, this is not tongue in cheek. This is not something that they heard. This is something that they can prove. She gonna change her plea. She gonna change her plea. That's what I really believe. But she got caught slipping in New York City. People gonna try it. People gonna try to pull one. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. I'm pretty sure that she wasn't the only one that did it. I'm pretty sure she learned it from somebody else in the higher ranking, or somebody that that she preceded. But at the end of the day, she got caught, and she's gonna have to face the consequences if convicted. So at the end of the day, I don't think obviously this was smart. Hindsight is 2020, but hey man, if you're gonna do crime, you gotta be better at it. And it kills me. People that do the most crime is the people who is closest to it. Like, you get police officers from time to time, you get correction officers from time to time. You get people that in position to have the best moral judgment and basically take the Hippocratical oath and making sure that they don't have biases while doing their job, and then they get caught for the foolishness. This is foolish. This is foolish as a correction officer. This is foolish. So I gotta send her the turkey. I agree with the chat. Definitely sending her the turkey on this one. Uh, Moving on to our next, send them the turkey or nah, send them the turkey or nah. A comedian, Haha Davis, reveals that both him and his wife engage in swinging activities with other couples. He also made mention that his wife really enjoyed the guy that she was with, and you know, it made him feel a type of way watching another man basically give his wife, the drill, the thunder, right? So let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Are we sending Haha Davis the turkey? Are we sending Haha Davis the turkey? He revealed this on Club Shay Shay. So again, let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. You sending him the turkey or not? Or you sending him the turkey or not? Me personally, I have to send him the turkey. Reason being is not because he let another man drill his wife. People like, yo, Ash, you're saying that? Yes, I'm saying that. I'm saying that because he signed up for that. When you make a decision to engage in swinging. That is a real decision. That is not something you haphazardly went into and was like, yeah, he probably didn't think it was going to go the way it was going to go. He probably thought of his good time and not his wife good time. But that's a conscious decision to make. Him making that decision can't send him to Turkey because that's his sexual preference. He likes women and it turned him on to switch partners. Hey, bro, you get my wife, I'm gonna get your wife. And everybody had a good time, including his wife. That's not something to send somebody to Turkey about. I'm sending him to Turkey based on the fact that he didn't like the fact that another man was drilling his wife and she enjoyed it. You signed up for that, bro. You can't be mad at that. You over here with your situation. You supposed to be rocking out with his wife and going crazy and doing swanton bombs in the guts. But no, you heard your wife getting drilled and enjoying the company of another man and being mad about it. Can't be mad about it when you signed up for it. That's why I'm sending him to Turkey, not because of anything else. It's a preference. This is all a preference. Swinging is a preference. It's a preference. You can't be mad at people that choose to swing. That's their business. But of course, when they relate it to the rest of the world, we are left to, say what we say, right? So shout out to Ebony, shout out to King Pete. Turkey, I don't understand how some men can let their wives sleep with other men. Really, that's good for him. I don't, again, it's not about sleeping with each other's wife when you sign up for the lifestyle. People that have orgies, you sign up for the lifestyle. I seen an orgy. I believe it was like Real Sex, the one, back in the day when HBO had like Real Sex, and they used to have like the orgy joints or whatever. Or what's that Playboy? But either way, they was having an orgy, and the dude, with him and his wife, they in the orgy joint. Another woman come over there. She, rocking him off, giving him the nitty bop, and he couldn't get right. And his wife was like, "Oh, you get my husband right. I'm gonna go over here and mingle, right?" And next thing you know, the wife was over there on the other side getting plundered, having herself a grand old time, a good time, right? And he still couldn't get right, obviously, because he over here looking over there at his wife instead of looking at his situation and trying to figure out why he couldn't get right. So I mean, at the end of the day, like, bro, that's on you. That's on you. You signed up for the situation. If you signed up to swing, if you signed up to do orgies, whatever your sexual preference is, whatever your kinks is, whatever that you're into, there's no shame. Do what you do. That's not something I'm engaging in. That's not something I want to do. But, I've had my share of threesomes. I've had my share of, multiple women at one time. I signed up for it. I can't say, oh, she was more hype, which, with her going down on her than me sticking them over there with both of you. Like, you can't be mad at that. You signed up for it. So if you're not ready for the moment, if the moment is too big for you, then don't engage in those waters and don't share it with the rest of the world when the rest of the world will give you shame for it. Me personally, the only part I really give haha David shame on is the fact that he didn't like the fact that another man was dragging his wife. You signed up for it, bro, because you had no issue, no problem when you was over there slipping, slapping on Shorty, on his wife, having a grand old time. But when you heard them smacks, and them smacks probably was a little harder, and she probably didn't moan the way she moaned with you, and it's no diss, but this is a man's psyche. If another dude is bringing out a different type of moan in your woman, and you're in the same room, and you're dragging another woman, you're gonna be like, damn, She don't do that with me. Like, what's going on? And it's gonna be an ego hit. But here's my thing: if you're not built for that, then don't do that. Can't be mad at her, and you can't be mad at the situation that you put yourself into. So that's why I'm sending him to Turkey. That's the only reason why. Me personally, again, I just believe that your sexual kinks, your sexual preferences, hey, it is what it is. I mean, you like what you like. If you like to swing, cool, but you sign up for everything that you sign up for when that happens. So I'm just letting that be known. And you can't be mad. I seen a movie like that one time where it was, I forget the name of the movie, and I had mentioned it on the show too, where the couples was engaging and swinging, right? And it was a grand old time because at first the couple was just doing menage a trois. It was the husband, his wife, and other women. Cool, having a grand old time. Now all of a sudden it's like, yo, we're gonna fully swing. I'm gonna tackle your homegirl, and your homegirl's boyfriend could get at you. The homegirl took the husband upstairs, going to work, and this is all in the movie, y'all going to work. But in the distance of his ear, he hears his wife getting dragged downstairs. And he like, whoa, 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 like, hold on, let me check. And the girl that the girlfriend is, or the friend is like, nah, chill, let them do their thing. I'm here to please you. But he couldn't get out his psyche that he can hear his wife screams all the way upstairs. And the very next day for breakfast or dinner, he unalived her. Like, she had to go. So again, when you sign up for it, hey, it comes with the good and the bad, and you sign up for it. So that's why I gotta send that man to Turkey. Me personally. Me personally. Shout out to Ebony. Turkey, I don't understand. Da, 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 da. Turkey. Oh, I got that out. So okay, so I read that one already. Turkey, I don't understand. Shout out to you. He just told millions of people that another man dog walked his lady. Uh, his pride is cooked forever. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. A man's pride when it comes to sexual relations, it matters. But when you sign up for it, it don't. It don't. You gotta chuck that up and keep it pushing. Shout out to my dog Rowan Jack, one of our day ones, one of our big badge holders. Appreciate you for tapping in, my dude, to get hit the likes at the 100s. It does help with the growth of the show, man. And he's one of my mods, so y'all better continue to talk to me nice. Sorry I'm late. I'm in the middle of the White House UFC. He's funny. Shout out to Locos in the building. Appreciate you for tapping in. Yeah, this is not the pod for that. Don't be weird. Show love, but don't ask stupid questions. Yeah, it's yeah. Don't low. So if you're gonna engage, engage. Don't be stupid. Don't be stupid. We don't do the bots over here. All right, show love if you're gonna show love. If you're not, don't be stupid. We're gonna hook you up with some tickets to the block party. If you don't ask questions. All right, y'all. Moving on to our next segment. Hey, y'all already know what time it is. It's time to rap. This segment is brought to you by Button Snaps, where you get the finest of movies, shows, documentaries, and original content for your viewing pleasure of $4.99. Again, that's Button Snaps. That's the word button, hyphenated sign, and the word snaps.com. That's the word button, hyphenated sign, and the word snaps.com. All right, y'all. First hot topic of the night. Shout out to Ron Jack. He lost it. I see you. Yeah, okay, so I got those. I thought I had missed a couple comments. All right, so DJ. So first hot topic of the night: DJ ASAP and Lashonda Moore, both sentenced to 40 years each for a pandemic pyramid scheme, and they scammed over 10,000 people for over $30 million, y'all. That is nuts. Again, first hot topic of the night: DJ ASAP and Lashonda Moore both were sentenced to 40 years each for the pandemic pyramid scheme over 10,000 people for over $30 million. Damn, that's a lot of money. Damn, that's a lot of money. Whoa. And that's a lot of years. They got 40 years of peace, 80 years between them. Was the juice worth the squeeze? Was the juice worth the squeeze? I'm pretty sure they sitting in prison right now, and it's real. It's real. Was the juice worth the squeeze? Was the money worth the situation? Obviously, they're in this situation. They're gonna say no. But damn, how do you scam 10,000 people? Some of those people, it's just being an idiot. I just got to be honest with you. It's just being an idiot. Some people sign up for it. I have a line in one of my songs. Some lambs is made for slaughter. Some lambs are made for slaughter because some people are just plumb stupid. 10,000 people scammed. 10,000. And they ended up with $30 million said scam. Let me let y'all know something for some people that never heard this. When something sounds too good to be true, 9 times out of 10, 9.5 out of 10, 9.9 out of 10, it's too good to be true. 9.9 out of 10 is too good to be true. When something sounds too good to be true, yeah. And that has to be some sort of self-accountability, but because they got so many people, is the reason why they got jumped up on these charges. Again, I stand with the people regarding this, but some of these people are plumb stupid. How do you get 30,000 people scammed? How do you do that? And now that they did it, they got caught. They're gonna get 40 years, 40 years apiece. Now for them, you got greedy. Catching a few people wasn't enough. You had to run it up to the highest extent. And here's my thing: making smart business decisions, having bad dealings on top of that as well, when you're a smart business person, and then you have people on the other side of that just have a bad reputation, it does catch up to you. When you're a smart businessman and a good businessman, it catches up to you in a way where it's actually positive. When you're moving for the people, most people don't realize when you do something great and you focus on being great, the money's going to come. The money's going to come. People will tell other people. People will recommend other people when you're great at something. But when you're trying to scam and you have a terrible name in business, and it's terrible because you're scamming, not because you're doing great business and people just don't want to pay your prices, but you're scamming. That carries a reputation. So now they basically lost the rest of their life. By the time they get out, they really got to do 40 years. There's no good behavior on this. They're getting 40 years. They have to do 40 years. 40 years from now, we're going to be living in a completely different world. What are they supposed to do if they come home? If they're able to come home, if they live long enough, 40 years. What are they supposed to do when they get home? Guess what? It was meant and dealt that they don't come home, because that's how much people that they scam and how much hardship that they did to other people. The jail is saying, yo, we can't get you your money back, but we're going to give you the type of time, or get you that type of time where, even though it will take a lifetime to get back the money that you lost, but at the same time, this is what we could do to penalize that. And on top of that, this type of sentence is supposed to be a deterrent from other people from scamming in this type of nature. damn, they got 40 years, I better stop. I'm doing the same thing that they doing. And I'm probably doing worse. So is the juice worth the squeeze? Was it worth it? Yeah, having that nice big old mansion, that sounds all well and good. Having a nice vehicle, that sounds all well and good. I know exactly what that feels like. I know exactly what that is. But when something is ill begotten, like this was, scamming is ill begotten, regardless if people were stupid. Scamming is still ill begotten. And when you get it in a way where it wasn't blessed properly, count your numbers. Count it. Because you lose things like that when something is ill begotten. You robbed somebody, you stole something from somebody. Okay, you was able to get the value from it, buy a house or buy a car. Guess what? 3 weeks later, the car crashed, or somebody that broke into the car, somebody stole the car. It's ill begotten. Yo, yeah, you buy a house, and all of a sudden, 8 months later, there was a nest of rats that was in the walls, and now the house is infested, and now you're doing so much of repairs to the house and never was able to be fixed. Ill begotten. So the fact that they got 40 years, I mean, if I'm the people, I will always want my money back. But 40 years, 30 million, 40 years, over 10,000 people. That is crazy. Shout out to Ebony in the chat, still in 30 million from over 10,000 people who were just trying to survive a global pandemic is a special kind of evil. They deserve every bit of that 40 years. I definitely respect that. I respect that, but there has to be some sort of self accountability, because I don't know what it is. I don't know what we watch or what people eat. But when things are too good to be true, obviously over 10,000 people fell for it. 10,000 people. When something sounds too good to be true and you can't calculate it, you can't add it up, it is what it is. Guess what? You're getting scammed. You're getting hustled. And people scam and hustle is so next level. They go next level with it, and they go to such a high degree to do this stuff. And you like, damn, like this is real? You went this far to prove or try to legitimize your scam? You got to do your due diligence. When 1 + 1 don't equal 2, guess what? Things are too good to be true. Hey, it is what it is. Shout out to Ebony. They weaponize faith, community, and by calling it blessings in no time, the only thing they bless were their own bank accounts. Again, there's something to be said that's true about that. But again, at the end of the day, accountability matters as well. You have to look into people's character. Business is business, but when you put in your money and your faith into people, that has monetary value that takes away from you and gives to them. Like, I have a friend, and I won't say his name, obviously. He did something I thought was like really odd. Like, he he gave a friend of his a hefty gift, and the gift was it's a lot. It was a lot of money as a gift, and they sacrificed something that they were saving and gave it to them, hoping that this person would not only give them back the 75,000, but it come with a little interest on top of that. But this person that they giving the money to has been out of circulation for a while now. And when they did it, it was like, I don't think that's a smart business move. This person don't have the cachet or the name like they once did. And I don't think you will see that money again. I think this will be something y'all won't speak about or speak to each other about ever again, meaning you'll lose your friendship because they're not going to be able to get you that money back. You're going to feel a type of way and you're not going to speak again. And I advise not to do it. But I only said it one time. I only need to say it one time. And they still went ahead and did it. So is the juice worth the squeeze? Shout out to my dog Cece in the building. Appreciate you, my brother Ash. My dog, as always, man, appreciate you. Hit them likes, hit them 100s. It helps with the growth of the show. We're on the road to 20,000 subscribers. We're a little over 13. So continue to hit the likes, subscribes. Also hit that all notification bell. I do pop up throughout the week, and I drop videos daily. So continue to support the pod. All right, so moving on to our next hot topic. Streamer University. Man, it was crazy. Streamer University in-person applications in New York City. Lines was behind the block. It was crazy. I seen video after video. I also have a personal friend of mine that made their way down to Streamer University and submitted the application. And she waited a long time to do it. A long time. She was on that line for a minute, and it was going crazy. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Again, let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Streamer University in-person application goes crazy in New York City. Again, let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Knicks are killing NY right now. We're gonna get into that a little later too. He said the Knicks is killing NY right now. That's a fact. I've seen crazy videos about the Knicks. I'm definitely gonna get into that later. My brother, yeah, I'm definitely gonna get into that later for sure. But I don't think people realize Kai Cenat has really changed the game when it comes to streaming, having a presence online, and just being yourself, and people rocking with you just for being yourself. Whether you agree, disagree, whatever the case may be, he's being himself, having fun, and it affected a lot of people. So much to the point where people want the opportunity to use his platform to make themselves a bigger platform. And there's nothing wrong with that. But to see the type of impact that he's had on the game, and in New York City, which is basically like the Mecca, it's the hub, and to see that type of outpour, to be able to be on his platform, and for them to, again, I won't say take advantage, but to take advantage to boost their platform is great to see, because you have people out here that really have the skill and the ability to entertain, streaming, podcasting, whatever the case may be, and people just tap into it and rock with it. Some people do definitely use a formula, and sometimes it does take a multitude of teams. But here's my thing: if you can entertain two, you can entertain four. If you can entertain four, you can entertain eight. If you can entertain eight, you can entertain 16, and so on and so forth. So the fact that you've seen the outpour of people wanting to use that platform, wanting to get on there to blow their platform up or to blow their name up, it was very dope to see. Even though the line was around the block, and people had to spend the night overnight while the Knicks was celebrating, and it was crazy. Like, that's one thing I'm definitely going to get into about later. But to see that again, to see that again, I thought it was cool. I thought it was cool because it's also something positive. People are not waiting online to get a part of something or to be a part of something that is negative. Some people may say, "Oh, well, Kai Cenat, he's not a person that's in charge of his own type of, you know, attention or what he puts out. He works for a company, or basically companies endorse him, so he's basically controlled by the company." You don't know that. All you know is that he stopped streaming for a little while, and he controls his own dollars because he done turned down deals that made millions of dollars. So the fact that to say that a company controls him, how? Which company? The fact that he could use his own money, and it would be smart if I'm him to use certain sponsors to fund certain things, and they're being sponsors into my thing, not a partnership where I'm being controlled. He's running his own thing, and he may get sponsorships into certain things, which is very smart. So when people say that, I just think that they're very like mis and ill informed. But I think it's something positive. People who are joining Casanat, when I see Casanat, I see a positive brand. I see a positive brand. Have we all said something? Have we all done something? Yeah, of course. But I see a positive young dude who's trying to, I don't want to say trying to, who's being himself. He put his people on, and he continues to get bigger and pulse in his brand and being able to put other people on. This, I don't think there's nothing wrong with that. He's not asking people to take a bowl of shit and eat it. Everybody's there making their own decisions. Everybody is accountable for the part that they play in their own story. So I actually think it was fire. I love you, man. My ears are open to you, but my ears watching the wild. But yeah, you already know my guy Rowan Jack, man. Always appreciate you, my dude. Hit them likes, hit the 100s. It does help with the growth of the show. But yeah, so again, I thought it was dope seeing that the line around the corner. I know when people got in front of Kai Cenat, they was wildly entertaining. I've seen some of the clips regarding that, and I thought it was a good time. I thought it was a good time, and I'm looking forward to seeing Streamer U Part 2, Year 2. So I think that's going to be fire. All right, y'all. Moving on to our next hot topic in Time to Rap. 21-year-old woman dies, or she was unalive after being thrown from the bridge in Brazil without her bungee cord attached. 6 people was brought in for questioning. Again, a 21-year-old woman was unalive after being thrown from a bridge in Brazil without a bungee cord being attached. 6 people was brought in for questioning regarding it. I seen this video. This video right now is super viral. This video has millions of views. Where the lady is being thrown from the bridge, and they think that they have her harness on her, and they just throw her. I want to be sensitive because somebody was unalive. Self accountability. Bungee jumping is not something like walking or running in the rain. So you're basically at the behest of other people to, let's do this thing right. But self accountability, if this is not something I do every day, wouldn't I make sure that I'm hooked up to something? Some sort of apparatus, some sort of the cord or whatever I need. Again, I'm being nice when I say this. Where's the self accountability? If I'm about to be thrown from a bridge, bungee jumping style, because this is what I'm doing. She was bungee jumping, and they throwing her from the bridge without the cord. If I'm the person that's about to be thrown from the bridge, I know me, bro. Where's my harness, bro? Where's the cord, bro? That's just me. When you're in the airplane, we don't fly airplanes every day, but some people fly more than others. Don't you put your seatbelt on? And that's flying a plane. Now, if you jumping from a plane or bungee jumping, you're doing something that you don't do every day. Hand gliding, parasailing, whatever that it is. You're going to have safety measures to make sure that you're safe. I look at bungee jumping the same way as you get into an ocean, like what I forget what they call it, but you get into the ocean, they put you into a steel cage, and you come, close with the shark. You're in a steel cage, and the shark comes and he bites the cage, so you're in the cage. That's not something you would do every day. If you're about to get into the shark cage, you will be mindful to be like, hey, yo, y'all got the safety cord, right? Because if they throw you in the ocean without the cord, the shark is the least of your worries. So if you bungee jumping as a person, wouldn't you be like, hey, yo, I don't have my cord on? I'm being really nice when I say this. Because to me, I just think it's a bit idiotic and it's common sense. If you're about to bungee jump, don't your don't your instincts tap in that I may need a safety harness or apparatus to bring my ass up here when I finish getting my high? I'm trying to be nice when I say this. Shout out to the chat. Y'all going in the chat. Y'all going in on the chat. Shout out to Rowan Jack, some Aztec shit. CC, self accountability Ash. What does that even mean these days? Shout out to my dog CC. It has to go a long way, bro. To me, when I'm watching a video, and if I'm that person, family member, I'm like, yo, I'm sad, of course, right? I wouldn't be laughing, but it's like, yo, so they didn't say, yo, where's my cord? Shout out to Ebony. The legal charges are exactly right. There was clear awareness of risk and total failure on the act responsibility. Shout out to Matthew. You kicking knowledge. Appreciate you, Matthew. Get hit them likes, hit the 100s. It definitely helps with the growth of the show. Again, this is episode 268. And this is your first time tuning in and tapping in. I'm Ashley Lovechild. Can the Brothers Get a Rap podcast? We're on every Sunday and every Wednesday. But yes, back to this. Self accountability matters. And again, somebody lost their life, but they have to be accountable for this. They have to be accountable. For you have to be accountable for your own safety as well. Now, it would have been another thing if they would have strapped her in, they got the harness on, and something snapped. It would have been another thing if the rope would have snapped, the apparatus would have snapped. It would have been another thing if something that they couldn't control and you did everything that you were supposed to do, something else happened. It was an act of God. I don't want to call it an act of God. It was something that was just unfortunate that happened. Then now would be a little different. But when you're about to bungee jump, something that you don't do every day, wouldn't you make sure that you're good before you get thrown? And you're getting thrown. Like, you're getting thrown. You're not even on the safety apparatus. You're about to be thrown. And it didn't hit you. You don't have the rope. Yeah, I know I'm going to sound real mean. I'm probably sounding real mean. My name is Matt 3, Sky Shift, Shaft. Appreciate that. I'm going to call you Matt for sure. Appreciate you for tapping in, my dude. Definitely white person who let herself get thrown off the dare. Bro, Jack, I didn't want to say nothing. I didn't want to say nothing because brothers, first of all, brothers don't bungee jump. We don't do that. And if we are going to take that type of risk, hey, yo, we going to make sure that everything is everything. Like me personally, people ask me, would you rather bungee jump, parasail? I'm not going to lie. I would jump out of a plane. I would do that. But I'm going to make sure that I have my parachute. And not only that, I'm going to make sure I do it a few times with somebody else so I know the procedures. You see what I'm saying? And we're not gonna go super high the first time. You see what I'm saying? We're going to do like a simulation type of joint, so that way I get the, you know what I'm saying? Like, all right, boom, I'm at this stage of the air, all right, ready to go. Oh, this one is struggling. All right, this is what I do. You know what I'm saying? So you're not going to catch me bungee jumping. You're not going to catch me jumping out of an airplane. Even though I said I would do something like that, but I'm not looking to do it because that's not what I do. But I tell you one thing, I'm going to make sure that I'm good in the sense where at least I have a fighting chance. Where's my damn parachute? I'm not going to get in the air, jump out in the plane, and be like, oh snap, I forgot my parachute. That's going to be the first thing I'm going to think to have. Now it'll be another thing. I'm gonna pull my parachute, and then it'll be an accident, right? But I didn't want to go there. But hey, you said it, Rowan Jack. Shout out to my dog, Rowan Jack. Would you do it for a white woman? Yo, you stupid. You stupid. You stupid. Nah, nah, nah. I would do it if my life is in danger in this plane, and they like, yo, we gotta jump, and yo, here's your parachute. Or I would do it if, if it's like, yo, I really want to do this, but if I'm really going to actually jump out of a plane for real just for fun, best believe I'm going to all the classes. Oh, I'm going to take a 15-hour class before I even do something like that. Shit, I took a 20-hour class before I started driving. So to jump out of a plane, I'm going to need at least 40 classes. Give it a buck with y'all. I got my license, at 17, 18? Took the 20 class. I paid for 20 classes. Showed up to all 20 classes on time. Had a good time. By the time I finished my 20 classes, I was a driving master. Now I'm jumping out of a plane. Oh, y'all gonna need about 50 classes. Yeah, for sure. So for her to do this and not even have the presence of mind to realize, like, yeah, yo, so y'all don't got the apparatus on me? No, man, you don't make sure you have the apparatus on you, which is crazy. Rest in peace. Moving on to our next hot topic in time to rap. A viral video, excuse me, a video that goes viral. No, I said it right. A viral video of Austin Metcalf dad. Let me tell you about LaMelo had no brothers on the jury. Let me pull up the actual audio, so it would give it justice, because I don't think me saying what he was saying would give it actual justice.
Send a black man to jail because he's black. You're not getting on the jury. You're so unintelligent, you can't even fill out a form correctly. You don't even know who your daddy is, because 78% of you don't have your father in the home anymore. You got baby mamas running around with 8 kids so they can get EBT cards to feed you all. You think I'm being racist? No, I'm being real. Because they ain't only black people. White people do the same. I'll call them out just as hard as I'll call you out. Anybody who doesn't work, who wants free government handouts, who wants to live in a socialistic society, move to Russia. And normally, I don't normally attack people like this, but I have been cooped up and caged up in this anger, and this is something I'm trying to work on. I need to develop it and funnel it into a more constructive way. But tonight is the one time I'm going to allow myself, it's okay. Tonight I'm going to allow myself to say what I really want to say. Because most of the time I don't say what I want to say, because it's not correct. Just because you think something doesn't mean you believe it. Doesn't make it right. Doesn't make it wrong. Doesn't make it a fact.
So that's what this man has said. And this is coming from the mouth of Austin Metcalf, who was unalive. Carmelo Anthony was protecting himself. He was being jumped by Metcalf and I believe his brother or a friend. They jumped him. Carmelo, I said LaMelo, Carmelo Anthony. He was protecting himself and he unalived this young man. This is such a boomerang effect. And the reason why I say this is because you could kind of get a glimpse of his son's type of energy, personality based on his father. Now, some people say, damn, Ash, like, you got to cut him some slack. He did lose his son. That's very true. He did lose his son. And that is unfortunate, for sure. For sure. I watched one of my parents, well, not one of my parents, I watched my parents lose a son. And it took them to a place emotionally that I think it took them a long time. I don't want to say they ever recovered, but it took them a long time to look forward to something. But I will say this. The father is an absolute asshole. You generalize a group of people based on your circumstances, you're an asshole. I'm not going to be nice in the fact where we get a glimpse of your son's personality and that boomerang effect when you display this. When you feel like you've been cooped up and you just want to throw some stuff out because you're not happy how things went, or you're not happy with the fact that people are speaking out, that they don't feel like the trial was fair based on not one, the connection with you and the judge and everybody that was involved in the case, but there was no brothers on the jury. So at the end of the day, you get mad because other people are mad, but you got the justice, correct? Carmelo Anthony's going to jail for what, 30 years, if I'm not mistaken? No, he's doing life. I'm talking about 30 years. He's doing life. And you're mad that people are mad about that? Well, a young man was defending himself, but we get a glimpse on your son's personality and him feeling like he could pull it off by jumping the young man. He already had him outnumbered. He's bigger than him on top of that. And should he have lost his life? Of course not. But that doesn't make it okay for you to speak out and make things general based on your personal situation. Based on your personal situation. No, it's 34 years. Okay, so it's not life, 34 years. Sorry about that. But the point is still well taken. The point is still well taken. Shout out to Washida. The point is still well taken. Just because you're mad that other people was mad about the damn case, that there was no brothers on the case, that you and the judge and the other people that involved in the case, y'all have a relationship outside of what's going on in the case, and you're mad that other people are upset. So you feel like going on the internet and throwing your disdain on brothers as a whole, and then try to clean it up like, yeah, I get on white people too if they do the same thing too. Which one is it? Which one is it? Because you don't have that same energy when there's been several of brothers and sisters that lost their sons to violence, whether it was provoked or unprovoked. You never saw those parents go the road or went the road that you took, and they're going through something or going through the same thing you went through, that's something that's tumultuous and obviously life-changing. They didn't sit here and generalize everybody, because it's not everybody that unalived your son. So that gives you a deeper dive into the mentality on what people, how they move and how they feel like they're obligated for something. Yeah, this is my tent. What are you doing under here? And you generalize a whole group of people that, one, you're wrong. You're absolutely wrong. People who need the most in this country when it comes to public assistance, if you do your research, is actually white people. People who are mostly in jail is white men. Do your research. That is a fact. And every time we have this thing that happens and race is a part of it, it's individual based. Is that individual? Because only a scared individual, when it comes to individuals, include everybody else. That's some bitch shit. That's some whole shit. If I got an issue with an individual, regardless of their race or creed, it's all have to do with whatever the conflict is. Our conflict has nothing to do with race. It's everything outside of that. But now if I turn it into a race thing and our conflict is just man on man, and I say, yeah, you can't come to Texas with that. You can't come to Brooklyn with that because all the brothers over here, we're going to stomp you out. When it's not about all the brothers over here, it's me and you. So when you have an issue with that family and that kid, and respectfully so, because you lost your son, and honestly, you don't care if your son started or not. You like, yo, whatever the case may be, my son still deserved to be here. And you may feel that, and you have the right to feel that way. Of course, that's your son. That is your son. He came out of your nuts. You created him, for sure. But to generalize and to stereotype a whole group of people based on your disdain for one person or somebody's family, nah, nah, nah. No way, no how, no sir. Tired of the bullshit where all these scared ass people, because they have a beef with one person or a group of people in the sense of a family, an immediate family, you trying to make it about everybody else when it's not everybody else. We don't live in we are the world, but we do live in subcultures. And what do that mean? Your son was an athlete. He lived in Texas. Y'all live in Texas. So obviously there's more than one race on your team. That's a subculture. Football is a subculture. When you're playing football, guess what you can't do in football? If you're running the ball and you have a guy on the other team that's a tackler and he's a brother tackler, when you're running the ball, you're not gonna say, damn, do I have another brother that could block for me? No, you're gonna be like, yo, who could block this dude? You don't care about what color, creed. That's subculture. You don't care about none of that. And because of that, it brings people together more than apart. And when you're scared ass shit, you try to create division. Scared ass people create division for no reason. When something is personal based. That's the problem that I have with his statement. And then he try to walk it back all in the same breath. Like y'all gotta give me some grace. Like I'm going through a lot. Fuck what you going through. Fuck what you going through. How many other parents went through the same thing? And they didn't go that route. They didn't try to put other people's life in jeopardy. They didn't try to put a whole group of people versus a whole another group of people when that's not even the vibe. That's not even what it is. Now, the problem is you have people that believe in Carmelo and you have a group of people that don't. The people that don't believe in Carmelo, that should not be color-based. That should be based on facts in the case, whether you support somebody or not. That I can see a division. Yeah, he didn't do it. He didn't do it based on the facts of the case. It shouldn't be color-based because subcultures bring us together. So when you divide at the same time because you're scared, I got a real problem with that. And the resolution to all of this is shut the fuck up. That's the resolution. That's the resolution. Because if you're going through something, like you're really going through something, you lost your son. Going to the internet is the last thing you want to do. You should be around people that really support you for real. Because you're going through something. I watched my parents lose a son. He didn't get shot. He didn't get murdered, but he died. And I seen the type of hurt that they went through. I seen it myself. And even though we didn't have social media is not a place that they would use as a tool to spread any type of hate, especially if we would have lost my brother to a white guy. Now, my vitriol, if we would have lost my brother to a white guy, would be with that white guy. It will be with him, the individual. I wouldn't say, yeah, nah, y'all white folks over there, now we got issues. That's bullshit. That's bullshit. Because I'm not a scared bitch. I'm going to take my energy to the person who deserves it. And that's to that man. But because you're scared, you try to make it a race thing and a rival type of thing. Because when you put it online, people are going to be against it or for it. And most times in a situation like this that's already racially motivated, it's not going to be about the facts. It's going to be about the race. Shout out to the chat. Y'all going in the chat. The sister and mommy and myself, I'm holding school accountability. I'm holding the school accountable for the cause. The school invited Carmelo and Metcalf both to school at the same time. They were both adolescents. Ashley, Lovechild, peace and love. Ashley, Lovechild. It was 34. Okay, yeah. So I thought it was life. I have it right here in front of me in correction. That it was actually 35 years in prison. Okay, so that was my mistake. Carmelo is now 19. He was convicted and of murder, obviously, and sentenced to 35 years in life. So again, my mistake. I'm clarifying that because even when y'all see this clip and I make the clip, I want to make sure that I clarify that. But yeah. And I see this all the time with people on TikTok, the whole thing with Chud the Builder, and you had all these people, trying to race bait and say all these different things. And I say this all the time. When people are scared, that is the mother of all destruction. When people are scared. And when people are scared, they try to get other people involved so that way they feel like they have a place to run to. They have a place that they could call home instead of standing on their own too. Or instead of making it personal based on the person you have issue with, based on the issue and not based on race. I've said this several times before. Before I became a music artist, I boxed. I played basketball. I played football. Ran a little track. All my life up until I became an artist. My teammates from all different walks of life. When I got into the music business, I work with people on and off camera. All walks of life. I run businesses. I deal with people from all walks of life. And my issues with individuals, if I have an issue with the individual, 9 times out of 10, 10 times out of 10, it's never about race. It's about the issue. It's about the issue. And because I can address it, I'm strong enough to address it head on as an individual dealing with another individual. You'll never hear me say, yeah, us as the brothers have to go against the white man to do. Dog. My issues with him. Now, if my issues with more than him about something that's race related, then I'm going to deal with them on something that's race related. I don't need to make this thing a bigger thing than what it is. It's about me and them. It's not about all white people. So that's the thing that really be boggling my mind when it comes to this race thing, because y'all got to understand, when I release videos, when I do videos, they're very interesting about videos. And we talk about race related stuff. My views on race related stuff goes through the roof. And it's a sad thing that we don't realize that it's a tool. We in 2026 and race is still an issue. When we have subcultures like hip hop, well, not just hip hop, but music, sports, streaming, podcasting. These are all subcultures. These are all places where people congregate, build together without race being an issue. It's all interests. It's all about interests, whatever your interests are. If you like women, hey, I got the podcast for women. So you're not going to have just brothers in here. You're going to have white guys in here too. Hey, man, I love women. Hey, you like sports? I like to talk about sports. You're going to have the people in here about sports, music, politics. All of this shit has a way of bringing people together just by the interest. And scared people say things like, words don't matter. Words always matter. Words always matter. Our country, the history of our country, went to war over words, not action. The history of our country, even if you don't say, hey, you nigga, hey, you cracker, if you don't say that and you go up to somebody and say, hey, your daughter's looking ready. Go say that to a man. Hey, your daughter's looking ready. To a man, to a father. Hey, your daughter's looking ready. Words, so words don't matter then, huh? You're gonna beat his brain in. You're gonna beat his brain in, as you should. Hey, your wife, I hit that. I would hit your wife. Why are you getting upset? Words don't matter, right? Words matter. You're gonna put belt to ass. Because respect, safety, it's not something that's race based. All people want safety. All people want respect. That's what that's about. And not realizing that racism is used as a tool at this point. And if you're for something or against something, let it be based on facts. I say to the chat all the time, I don't care if y'all agree with me. But if you agree or disagree with me, let it be based on facts, not feelings. I'm okay with that. I'm cool with that. You see things this way based on the facts. I see things that way based on facts. Shout out to Washida going in the chat. I meant to say the way Metcalf addressed Carmelo Anthony was disrespectful. Being a racist is not our fault, Ashley. We didn't make that up, Ashley. Racism is real, Ashley. It's a lot going on in the small world. I could definitely respect that. I could respect that. I could respect that. But see, here's my kickback. Racism is taught if you go to the local park, you can see a brother, a young kid playing with a white kid, and they having a grand old time because they don't see color. They don't. The world teaches them to see color. But just as the world teaches them to see color, we have subcultures that's supposed to bring people together based on interest. And regardless if we created it or not, I'm not saying that nobody should be turning the other cheek. I'm not saying we should be kumbaya neither. What I'm saying, whatever your issue is, it should be individual based. That's my point. You can't stereotype a whole group of people based on one person's action. Now, if you're an individual and majority of your interactions with the group of people has been negative, I can understand how it can skew it, but you can't just generalize everybody based on the people that you met from that race. Can't generalize everybody like that because it doesn't bode to your benefit neither. It doesn't. Like, when are we going to be honest with this whole shit? When are we? And I'm not kumbaya. I'm not the kumbaya type of person. But I'm an individual, and I look at things individual based. I do, for sure. I do. And I remember going into high school, being from Brooklyn, being from the neighborhood I was from. I wanted to go to a school that I was comfortable at, where it was a lot of brothers. I could play football and basketball, and I'm chilling. But I had a school that was interested in me and going to this school based on scholarship and to play sports at this school, play football at this school. This school was in a supremely nice neighborhood. This school is surrounded by millionaire homes. This is not me projecting. This particular school, you can look it up right now. The average home where I ended up going to high school is $1 million right now. The average home in Brooklyn. My mother wanted me to go to this school because she said this is the real world. My mother worked for the Supreme Court of New York over 35 years. She's from the South, Virginia, Richmond. If you know the history of Richmond, Virginia, you know. But she said this is the real world. Because when you go in the real world, you don't have the 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 option to deal with just who you want to deal with if you want to be successful. So you have to learn how to work with everyone. And what I realized going to school that was very mixed based. The brothers, we was the least populated at this school. But what I realized, and trust me, I was very militant, very militant. But what I realized, I had to learn how to look at people as individuals. I did. And that worked for my benefit because everybody that I met who happened to be white wasn't a bad person. Every person that I met that's a brother, they not great neither. We got assholes in every race. Whether you a brother, whether you're white, we got assholes everywhere. But we have amazing people everywhere as well. Got amazing people that's brothers. You got amazing people that's white. Amazing people. That's why it's individual based. That's why I have friends who also happen to be white. Majority of my friends is brothers. I'm gonna be honest with you. Majority of my friends is brothers. But the friends that I have that happen to be white, they got love for me. They got real love for me. If another white person was to call me a nigger in front of them, that person would get punched in the face. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. This is why this is individual based. This is why. You have good and bad in both, but you don't generalize everybody for the bad. You don't. You see people for their own actions, and you don't say something stupid like, oh, you're a good one. No, you don't say nothing stupid like that. What are we talking about? You're a good one. Nah, no. Great people, great individuals is not limited to a color. Period, point blank. So the fact that, again, that the Metcalf father thought it was okay to generalize brothers, and he tried to clean it up. He said, I'm an equal opportunist. I give the access to people equally, but all at the same time saying the most heinous things that are not true. Statistics is all wrong, might I add. And you want people to give you grace based on what you're going through. But what happened to all the parents before you that lost a kid? Whether they was white or whether that they was brothers. And they lost their kid and didn't use social media as a tool to display hate and to create more separation only because you're scared. I have people that support the show that's not only brothers, but also white. So what are we talking about? People that support my music from all walks of life. When you watch the NBA, when you watch the Knicks win, did you only see brothers down there? Or did you see white people down there too? Did you see Jalen Brunson not hug his white teammates? You saw that? You didn't see that, didn't you, right? You see New Yorkers. I see New Yorkers going crazy, Gotham City. All different creeds celebrating. Nobody's saying, well, I'm white, so only the whites can celebrate. I'm a brother. Only the brothers can celebrate. You didn't see that. You seen a whole group of people having a great time and being proud and prideful to watch their team win, regardless of color, race, or creed. So we use it as a tool to keep people what? Afraid. Shout out to Rowan Jack. Shout out to Rowan Jack. He just gifted the chat majorly. Shout out to Rowan Jack. Appreciate you as always. Had his badge for over 2 years. Appreciate you, Rowan Jack. Appreciate you, Rowan Jack. Again, it just makes my point even more. And I don't even have to say what it is. It makes my point even more. I'm going to leave it alone. Again, shout out to Rowan Jack. Thank you. Appreciate your support. As always, one of the biggest contributors to the podcast for 2 years. Over 2 years, he had his badge. Over 2 years. Shout out to Rowan Jack, man. One of the best, man. Real talk. I'm still waiting for you to give me my in card. Big love Ash. Big love chat. Please, all I want. Please, all people want respect or not. That's not our fault. Yeah, nah, I definitely agree with that. I definitely agree with the fact that we all want respect, but we can't have a victim mentality, whereas this is their fault, my fault. You know what I mean? And we have to understand when things is meant to be understood. And what that means is, in essence, is that when we look at a situation, our job is to call it out. Like I'm calling it out, right? I'm not saying we any victims. I'm not saying that people should take what people give them. No, we calling it out because this is bullshit. This is bullshit. I've seen other people call this out and they were white. So it goes back to my point about being interest based. When something is wrong, it's wrong based on facts. Based on facts. Just like things that happened back in the day to us that was wrong, it was wrong. And should we just move on from it? No. It should be what? It was created, we document it, and we move on from it, right? We are inspired from it in a sense where we don't want that to happen to us and it's not going to happen to us. And we're inspired on it as well that it's a brand new day. Stupid people get stupid prizes. Shout out to my dog, Vic, in the building. Appreciate you as always. Not statistical. One of my dogs, one of my day ones. Appreciate you. Hit them likes, hit the 100s. That helps with the growth of the show. Wrong is wrong. Facts. Wrong is wrong. Wrong is wrong no matter how you slice it. And it's wrong is not color based. Wrong is wrong. But having a difference of opinion, let it be based on the facts. But I've been around too many people in my life, from all walks of life, to generalize and to stereotype one group of people. I can't do that. I can't do that. I'm not going to do that. And I'm not going to be suckered by the internet to get me to jump on this train. I'm going to call it out. Because again, when I'm on TikTok, if I'm on Instagram and you see the race stuff, you see people for hook, line, and sinker for the nonsense. When that's all algorithm. If I drop a video or somebody drop a video and it displays nothing but peace and good energy based on whatever that it is, and it's not necessarily kumbaya, the interest of it is not that high. But you have scared individuals that attach themselves to these type of subjects because they're scared to stand on their own too and to have resolution with the individual. Yeah. Yeah. That's how you know people are scared. You ever about to get into a fight as a kid? You ever had a fight as a kid and you like, yo, I'm gonna whoop your ass. And the person that you told that to, they believed you. And they already visualized the ass whooping. They like, oh snap, he about to whoop my ass. Let me go tell my big brother. Let me go tell my cousins. So cause I'm scared. I need help. He's gonna whoop my ass and ain't gonna be nothing I could do about it. I'm scared. So when I see people that are agitators, that are race baiters, that's the equivalent of what they do. They're scared. They're scared. Can't be scared. Can't be scared. Can't allow people to say words is words. It's not just words. I just gave a detailed reason why words is not words. It's not just words. Words always matter. Respect matters. Respect matters. Don't forget that the likes hit the 100s. That helps with the growth of the show. We can agree to disagree, but never compromise yourself. Shout out to Vic. Being aware is important. Shout out to Ashida. Uh, your love for Caucasians don't supersede the truth. I disagree there because truth is all I've been saying. There's no superseding of Caucasians or any fact of the matter. I'm letting individuals be individuals. So I think you kind of misspoke there when you said being aware is important and the love for your Caucasians don't supersede the truth. What truth are we talking about? All I've been speaking is the truth. All I've been speaking is the truth. So you overspoke there, Washida. I'm gonna have to call you out on that one. Shout out to Vic. Amateur fights. Nervous until they'll run. Who's fighting? Vic, you watching the White House match too? Yeah, no. Yeah. Washida, you overspoke on that one. And you said Caucasians, your love for Caucasians supersede don't supersede the truth. What truth are you talking about? You and Carmelo Anthony's story is not the same in life. Your truth and his truth is about Caucasians is not the same. You totally off base when you say that. The reason why you totally off base is because this is about individuals. Individuals made this case. You're way off base. Individuals made this case. And it came down to the young man that lost his life and the guy that he had with him that approached Carmelo Anthony. Individuals. And the young man was super aggressive with Carmelo Anthony, which forced him to defend himself. So that's not white versus black thing. That's an individual thing. Now, do we have a history in this country with whites and blacks? Yes. And I hate saying the word black because that's not what we are. I'm kind of getting super pissed because now I'm using the word black and I don't like using that word because that's not what we are. But the fact that you're saying that my love for Caucasians supersedes the truth. The truth is about individuals. And the truth is that his father didn't have the right to come on the internet and saying that we need government assistance and we don't have fathers in the house. So you over speaking, and I guarantee you in your response you didn't hear me say that. So the fact that you're trying to separate my interactions with white people and Carmelo interactions with white people is not about the race in itself, it's about the individual. Scared people turn it from the individual fight into brothers versus whites. You misspoke. Shout out to Vic. I'm Caucasian. My kids are biracial. Shout out to Vic. I could definitely respect that. You said Caucasians would defend you. Yes, I said that I have friends who happen to be Caucasian, and if somebody was to call me a nigga, they would get punched in the face. Yes, I did say that. That didn't happen in Carmelo's case. It don't have to happen because we're talking about individuals. That's where you misspoke. It's about individuals. Individuals know how to make something about an individual, not about race. So the fact that you're saying that it's different because my love for the Caucasians supersedes the truth is that this is about individuals. And this is about what his father said. This is about what the Metcalf kid father said. So you misspoke. Simple and plain. There's not even a place where somebody could agree to disagree. You completely misspoke. Because my statement was to him that because of his own things that he said regarding and to us as brothers and sisters was off base. He's not the only person or only parent that's lost a child, whether they're white or brothers. And you've never seen brothers, or you don't see the brothers preceding him, whether they're brothers or sisters, come out and say their hatred or their I don't want to say hatred, but their disdain for the other race. You don't hear that. So my statement was to him. And when I brought up the fact that I have friends that happen to be white, even though majority of my friends is brothers, I have friends that happen to be white. If you was to call me a nigga in front of them and you happen to be white, I wouldn't even have to react. They will punch you in the face because subcultures bring people together. I said this quite a few times. So you misspoke. Period. So the Caucasians on this case are not individuals. They are individuals. You're making my point. You're making my point. If you really asking, I will answer. But I feel like I'm saying things more than once, and I clarified it and I gave detailed things behind it to clarify what I'm saying. I don't know. I don't understand how you misunderstanding me. This is individual based. The father tried to turn it from individuals and try to make it a race thing based on what he said. So there's no other way how you can misunderstand what I'm saying. I've been crystal clear. If you didn't hear what I said in the very beginning, then say that. But you misspoke. Shout out to my dog Vic. Damn right. The kid was attacked, period. Correct. Wrath is my favorite sin. Shout out to Ron Jack. Give me something to crusade for. He didn't. If he didn't assault Carmelo, we in we. If he didn't assault Carmelo, we the in between nobody assaults my friend. Right. So the point that I was at the very beginning of what I said again, the father Metcalf he misspoke. He tried to generalize a group of people based on the situation that people are mad at him, or not even mad at him. People are mad at the case that there was no brothers on the case. So in his disdain for people being mad, he tried to generalize everybody else that we come from a group of people that don't have fathers in the household, that we depend upon assistance from program assistance to take care of ourselves and all this, that, and the third, mainly because people are mad that they don't feel like Carmelo Anthony got a fair shake in this case. He's mad at that. And he tried to make it a race thing in a sense where it's bigger than just the individuals. So you misspoke. I heard you. Both families lost. Both families definitely lost. Both families definitely lost for a fact. For a fact. For a fact. Carmelo did start it based on what we've seen on tape and everything that's going on with the case, how everything led up to it. Did the kid deserve to lose his life based on that? No. No. But my fight is not for the kid. My fight is for Carmelo Anthony. But my fight is more so towards the father, thinking that it's okay to go on social media and thinking it's cool and saying that he's basically owed grace to being upset that other people are upset that Carmelo didn't get a fair case based on that wasn't enough brothers on the jury. You misspoke, Rashida. You misspoke. This is an individual base. Only scared people make things about a race or something bigger than just the actual people. Only scared people do that. So the people on this case, it was individual based. So I'm resting this because I feel like all the comments that you've made regarding this, and I love the engagement, but it's been completely off. It's completely off. This one, and this is this one of those hurt people. It's like it very well is. It very well is. And what he said, it went viral. This is actually a viral video. This is actually a viral video. Oh, we have racism. We have a racist ass country now. You see, and that's my pushback, right? That's my big pushback because when you over a certain age, you're accountable for your actions. You're accountable for your actions. When you're a certain age, you don't have to have like these derelict understandings and premonitions and opinions of a group of people based on an individual, or for one individual. Like I said, if I have beef with somebody, it's going to be based on the beef, based on the issue. It's not going to be bigger than what it is because I'm not afraid. I'm not going to bring my cousins into it. I'm not going to bring my friends into it because that has nothing to do with them. It has everything to do with the individual. But when you're afraid, you get all these other people that got nothing to do with nothing. I like sports. I like sport. I love sports. I grew up in it. Racism, the purpose that racism serve is to scare individuals. I brought this down to the finest matter, to the atoms of this joint. I broke this all the way down. Scared people is the mother of all destruction. That's what racism is about. People being afraid. That's what it's about. If you look at the history, to the finest essence. Rashida, I listened to what the father said. It didn't have anything to do with what happened. And you're saying that in regardless to what? You heard what the father said, and it had nothing to do with what happened. Into what I was talking about. See, that's what I'm saying. If you have pushback, have pushback based on what I said about the dad. What he said based on the case, if you listen to the father, he was mad about that us as the brothers was upset with the fact that there wasn't no brothers on the jury. And then instead of keeping it about the case in itself, he made it about, yeah, y'all need public assistance. Y'all don't have fathers in the household. That's what he made it about. He made it about something bigger than what it was. And then the case in itself is already big. In the case in itself, he can't be mad after he done got justice. So you can't get justice and be mad that other people don't view it the same way you view it. I'm putting this to bed. All right, y'all, moving on to our next hot topic. Exonerated 5-member Corey Wise said that he never received his settlement. Mind you, his settlement with the formerly known Central Park 5, who was later, their case was later overturned years later, that they did not commit the essay to the young lady. I believe it was back in 19. I'm gonna get the year wrong, but it was back in the day where they said that these young kids had sexually assaulted a young lady, and he was all wrongfully convicted. So Corey Wise, who did the most time out of everybody, so exonerated 6. Corey Wise said that he never received his settlement. Mind you, again, formerly known as the Central Park 5, they was awarded a landmark $41 million for wrongful conviction settlement in New York City. And this was back in 2014. I remember this vividly. I remember when the actual Netflix movie series came out. It was called When They See Us. That was very excellent, might I add. But Corey Wise and himself, because he did the most time, he was awarded $12.2 million. and he had made mention on the current podcast that he never received his share. What he said regarding that he never received his share, this was his exact words. Mine got mines. She felt like they did too much on mine. That was his response. So in essence, he's speaking that on someone who had access to his award, and it could be somebody that was legally set to him, meaning that he probably legally allowed somebody to act as his attorney, be his power attorney. So he never received his $12.2 million. Shout out to Ruin 12 in the building. You already know, hit them likes, hit the 100s. It helps with the growth of the show. Shout out to my dog Ruin Jack, Rashida. This is not about you, Ashley, Metcalf. They made it about you. I'm not. Okay. Well, shit, I can respect that. I could definitely respect that. Again, I'm not mad at you, but I still have to make my point. Rowan 12, Rowan Jack, where you been? All right, so again, Corey Wise, again, never received his $12.2 million settlement. I would love to know what y'all think about that in the chat. So again, he said again, mine got mines. She felt like she did too much work on mine. So I believe that he's referring to a lawyer or somebody that was that he made power of attorney, and basically they felt like they did a lot to receive the award, but he never got his actual award. So even if they felt like they was due or owed a bigger portion, meaning a percentage, probably working his case for free. I've heard lawyers take as much as 33% if they're working for free. I've heard lawyers take as low as 2% and still working for free and getting their money on the back end. It all depends on that type of money. With $12.5 million, 12% is 33% is ridiculous. 15% is like, go shoot yourself. 2% on $12.2 million and you working for free and nothing, of course, and well, okay, that's somewhat suitable on $12.2 million, 2%. But 15, 33% or not giving the money up at all, it's crazy. If you've ever seen Corey Wise, and this is no disrespect to him, it's in his best interest to have people in his corner that has his best interest. He doesn't seem business savvy. That's not a disrespect. That's just an observation. And because of that, you're going to have people around him that's going to try to take advantage. Thus thou, this particular situation. So he could be referring to a former lawyer who had power of attorney. He probably didn't understand the language in the contract. He probably didn't have anybody around him to help him fully comprehend what was going on with the contract. But there has to be some sort of way that, because mentally, he's not business savvy, in a sense he doesn't know what he was didn't know what he was signing, that there has to be some sort of retraction from that where he received his money. There has to be a way. And I just found that super, super duper messed up regarding that bit in itself. Super duper messed up. 12.2 million, bro. I'm doing anything at least to get some of that money. That's a fact. That's a fact. This man spent 13 years surviving the worst conditions in prison. finally gets justice and then gets robbed in broad daylight. I'm sick. I'm sick to my stomach. Shout out to Roman Jack. I have just been around redacted. Yeah, I don't know what happened. You say your statement was redacted. Yeah, I didn't redact that. I don't know what happened with that. Corey Wise has suffered more than at least almost. No, Corey Wise has suffered more than almost anyone, and now this protect this man at all costs. I know, I know your higher self is not mad as at me. Yeah, I'm not mad, but it's hard to people. I think it's hard for people that are wealthy to have people that are trustworthy. So majority of the people just see them as dollar amount, and once the money dries up, they're all gone. It's classified, buddy. Yeah, I just think it's super duper messed up. Even though he is an adult, even though um, he has gone through some of the worst things ever in his life. Period. Point blank. And watching his story and watching that movie, I'm like, yo, this really happened. Whoa. Um, but you would think in a situation like this, where everybody is getting awarded something and he's getting the biggest award, that there's not checks and balances to make sure that he receives his money. I mean, this is terrible PR. This is terrible PR, but at the same time, New York is like, yo, we cut the check. We cut the check. It's on him to hire his representation. And you will also think, if you are a friend of his, that if it's five of us, six of us, you mean to tell me we all have different attorneys? We all have different lawyers and esquires. So there's nobody that looked out to the center. It's like, yo, I know he kind of, I know. Again, I don't want to be disrespectful, but I know he's not business savvy. He's my friend. Hey man, get down with my lawyer. My lawyer charges 2%. So you getting 12.2. He takes this and you get the rest of your money. He's doing the same thing for me. Ain't none of the friends would do that. And they were friends and they grew up together, same neighborhood. That to me, that's a tough one on Ash. That's a tough one on Ash. I just have to be honest regarding that. And we're in 2026. They was awarded this money back in 2014, and we just heard about this. So the person who was his attorney, if it was his attorney, or the person who acted as the attorney, when you get things, and I said this early in the show, when you receive things and it's ill begotten, things has a way to come back to you. Same thing that I said about the Metcalf man. When you have a certain type of energy, things have a way of boomeranging. I said this earlier also about the people who scammed 30,000 people for, was it $30 million? Or 10,000 people for $30 million. They ended up with 40 years. Things have a way of boomeranging when things are ill begotten. Just saying. All right, y'all, moving on to our next hot topic in Time to Rap. NBA playoffs is finished, is done and over with. The New York Knicks is your finals champions. They the NBA champions. They beat the Spurs 4-1, 94-90. The 53-year drought, it's over. I know I say it as a joke, but the last time the Knicks won the finals, the average rent in New York City was $175. Yes. But I will say this, though. I was wrong. Congratulations to the New York Knicks. They won the finals. They won their finals before the Brooklyn Nets. I'm a Brooklyn Nets fan. But this is big for New York City. Regardless if you're a Brooklyn Knicks fan, a Brooklyn Nets fan, or a New York Knicks fan, this is really big for the city. This is really big for the sport. It matters that New York is good in a professional sport, in basketball in particular, because New York is the mecca. It is the absolute mecca. There's no place that you can go to in New York City when the weather is halfway decent that you're not going to see people on the court. New York people know basketball. They may not know everything about basketball, but they know basketball. We grow up playing basketball. So it matters when the New York teams is good or not. It matters. It matters. And I'm not a hater, so I'm a congratulate the Knicks this year is the best team in the NBA. Got to give them their props. Got to give them their props. Now, I did say this last year. I said, if the Knicks don't win this year, they will never win. And the reason why I said that last year is because they went pretty far last year, but they lost to a better team. But last year, after last year's finals, Halliburton was said to be hurt for the whole year. So, Jason Tatum was set to be hurt for the whole year. I said, it's wide open now. There's no other team that has the Knicks roster going into the season. So if they don't win this year, which they happen to do, that they will never win. That's what I said last year. And they won it. They won it straight out. And you got to give them their props. The Spurs was beating the Knicks. And not just they was beating the dog shit out of the Knicks in every single game. In every single game. Whether they was up by 14s. Normally, when you up by 14, 16 in the finals, you win that game. The Spurs lost all of those games but one. All of those games but one. And that last game, the one that they won, they almost lost that game too. They was up by 15 in the first game, up by 13 in the second game. The Knicks came back from 30. If you can't win a game and you up by 30, you don't deserve to win. And I thought the Spurs, man, I honestly thought that this year for the Spurs was an absolute success for them. I really do believe that, for sure. And the reason why I believe that is because they have a young team. I didn't think Wemby would turn the corner this fast. I knew he was going to turn that corner because when he got drafted, I said, "Yo, he gonna be nice." And everyone, he struggled the first times out, people was hitting me up there like, "Yo, your boy ain't looking good." And then when he turned that corner, it was quiet. It was quiet city. It's been quiet city ever since. Wemby still had a good series statistically, but moments-wise, he came up short in the moment. He came up short in the fourth quarter when they really needed that last bucket, when they needed those free throws. Yes, when they needed that box out, but they needed to get that part of the defense, he came up short. But statistically, he played well. People say, "Oh, Cat is dogging him." How? He still averaged damn near 30 points a game. Still got damn near 12 assists. 12 rebounds a game. He's still changing the game defensively. How? They battling. They battled. The last few games, Cat did die out though. He did die out, but he did enough to help them win. He did enough to do that. And seriously, congratulations to the New York Knicks. Seriously, they earned it. Regardless when they was down, the signs of a champion is not about being up the whole game. The signs of a champion, you struggle and then you come back. Then you come back each and every time. That's the signs of a champion. So again, shout out to the New York Knicks. Congratulations. They're the 2026 NBA champs. They're the best team this year. They even won the cup earlier this year. And they showed up and showed out. They showed up and showed out. So they should be partying. They should have a good time and enjoy this. They should really enjoy this. I mean that wholeheartedly. I'm not even like jokingly say that. And it's coming from a Brooklyn Nets fan. They should really celebrate this. Now, Knicks fans and this stuff, y'all gotta chill a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Y'all gotta chill a little bit. Y'all gotta chill. And I said that everything that happened on social media and in real time was gonna happen. I said this. I said the first 48 hours, if the Knicks won, New York is gonna turn into Gotham City. And it did. I've seen New Yorkers rip the cover off a yellow school bus and walk down the street with the cover of a yellow school bus. Where you going with a cover of a yellow school bus, bro? What do you need that for? They set another yellow school bus on fire. I said this will happen. New York City is going to go through a metamorphosis. It's going to be Gotham City first 48 hours. And then after that, that should be peace. It's going to be peace. It's going to be somber. It's going to be a beautiful atmosphere in New York City for the first time in a long time. Things that used to be beefs ain't going to be beefs no more. It's cool. The Knicks won. So it's going to be cool amongst the New York fan base and the energy of the city, for sure. But it's going to be Gotham City. It's going to be Gotham City. And the main reason why I said the Knicks fans got to chill, it don't do or set no purpose on setting the yellow school bus on fire. Setting any bus on fire. It don't set no purpose. But have fun, party, and enjoy this shit. Have a good time. Go crazy. But the fellas that stole the top of the school bus cover, what y'all doing with that? What are y'all doing with that? They was literally walking down the street with the top of the school bus cover, just tucking it like, yeah, we outside. They even mashed up a police van. I get that. I mean, it's NYPD. I get that. I get that. You know what I'm saying? Mulligan for that one. All right, cool. You know what I'm saying? But other than that, have a good time. But you don't have to destroy property to have a good time. That's just my belief. But they won 4-1, and moving on towards next year, they're gonna bring that team back as they should. They might make small upgrades as they should if they want to, protect their championship. But in the mean in between time, hey man, enjoy this. I honestly believe that the Spurs choked this series away, and I don't necessarily think the Knicks was making things happen, but they ended up making things happen in the fourth quarter. How do you not come back if you didn't make things happen? So even though I feel like the Spurs choked this series away, the Knicks took it. And you can't refute it. You can't argue against it. They took this series. They wanted it more than the Spurs. No matter how the Spurs outplayed this team from the first quarter to the third, when it mattered the most, what team wanted it more? So I got to give all credit to the New York Knicks. And also, I want to say that Rick Brunson, he's trash. Y'all know I'm lying when I say that. Rick Brunson is an absolute dog. Absolute dog. Rick Brunson cemented his legacy by winning the championship. Before the championship, even if he didn't win this championship, he still would be regarded as a great player. I don't care how you feel about it. I don't care if you you don't like his game, or you don't he's not the super athletic guy, he's not the tallest, it doesn't matter. He got skills. He's skillful. and he is a smaller guard and the lead player on a championship team, he's in a conversation with maybe two people, and one person only comes to mind for real. Small guard who's the lead player on a championship team. The last time I felt like I seen that was the Detroit Pistons. The Detroit Pistons, they won their last championship, what, 1990? 80, 89 and 90? So from 89 and 90 all the way to 2026 was the last time where a small guard is the leading player on his team on a championship team. Allen Iverson almost did that back in what I forget what year that was, like 99, 2000 against the Lakers. He almost did that. If he could have turned not only that first game, if that could have been the whole series, then Allen Iverson would have been in that conversation. But Rick Brunson deserved all that credit. Leader, gets the tough bucket, and he's relentless. Even if he's missing a whole bunch of shots, he's still relentless. He still wants to win. He makes smart plays. Man, relentless. Straight up dog. One of the best point guards in the NBA, hands down. So, did he cement his legacy? For sure. For sure. And some people say he's the best Knick ever. I can't give him that. I can't give him that. I'm still going to say Clyde Frazier. Clyde Frazier got 2 rings. But if you was to say, and then Clyde Frazier says Willis Reed, and then Willis Reed said it's Patrick Ewing, you got to give Rick Brunson his credit. Wherever that you place Rick Brunson in the pantheon of the Knicks legacy, whether it's uno, number 1, whether it's number 2, whether it's number 4, honestly, at the end of the day, as of right now, it doesn't matter. He's just going to be cemented. You can't tell the story of the Knicks franchise without mentioning Rick Brunson. And what was cool about the Knicks winning and Rick Brunson being the lead player of that team, his father's on the staff. So can you imagine sharing that moment with your father? You see a picture of my dad in the background. Me and him was extremely close. So can you imagine having that moment with your father? Can you imagine? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. That is beautiful. So you got to give credit and props due to not just Rick Brunson, Anunoby, excuse me. You got to give credit to the rest of that team. Good team. That's a good team. Good team. And I always used to joke that my Nets will win before the Knicks. And we had our chance to win. And we're still going to have our chance to win. But the Knicks is the best team in the NBA. Simple and plain. You got to give them their props. But I have to say this. Wemby is still here. They're going to have to deal with Wemby moving forward. The NBA is going to have to deal with Wemby. The Spurs is not going anywhere. They're only going to get better. Now, if I'm the Spurs, I have to be honest, because I would have made a change in the series. I would have brought Fox off the bench. Because as a veteran, he's not giving you what veterans are supposed to give you in these moments. He's not being highly efficient, and he's not making the smart play. Just not. So I would have went with young Dylan Harper. I think moving forward, they're gonna go with Dylan Harper. I think moving forward that they will trade Fox. Even though Fox is a great player. Fox is a hellified player. He's still a hellified player in my book. But Harper is too good to be sitting the bench. And you have to see what Harper is going to do in these situations opposed to Fox. And even off the bench, Harper was killing. He was doing work. So if I'm the Spurs, Harper is becoming a starter for me. I'm also, this will be one of my points of interest if I'm the Spurs and if I'm in the Spurs front office. I need another guy outside of Wemby that helps defensively change shots. So that way the defensive measure when Wemby sits doesn't change. They still need another big next to him. And I would use like a mobile big, somebody that's more like a stretch four that could play a side Wemby and without Wemby. And I think they could retool nicely. Castle's a nice young piece, even though he didn't play. Uh, he didn't have a great game the last game out, but he's still a great young piece. Harper's a great young piece. Wemby's a great young piece. I still like Champagny. He's still going to be a very viable option on offense. He has to tighten up on defense, but throughout the playoffs, he was solid defensively. Against the Knicks, Brunson, again, Brunson is tough, man. Brunson is tough. So I still like the Spurs moving forward as far as their chances, and you still got to deal with the Spurs. Still got to deal with the Spurs. So shout out again to the Knicks winning the finals. They deserve it. They earned it. I was wrong. I was wrong. They're a good team, and all credit due, all respect due. Shout out to the chat too. Shout out to Rashida, go Knicks. This is that. Go Knicks. I'm happy the game is over. Ash told me he give me some. Ash told me he would give me some attention if the Knicks won. Thought he would take the shirt off and we won for the Knicks. We love number one. Play your ass off. Back hands. I'm not gonna lie. I wanted Spurs to win. Okay, ain't nothing wrong with saying that. Ain't nothing wrong with saying that. Ain't nothing wrong with saying you want the Spurs to win. I thought they was gonna win. When it got crazy, honestly, it got crazy when Spurs fans was walking around New York City. And honestly, even though it's crazy, I kind of like it, but it was going too far, right? And I don't know, maybe because I'm from Brooklyn. Yo, you can't wear them jerseys around over here, bro. Take it off. You know what I'm saying? Now, some people say, yo, it's kind of whack that people ripping jerseys off. Yeah, kind of. But I like the fact that people, they just know better not to wear it. You know what I'm saying? You got to be situationally aware. And I said this before. If you a blood and a group of Crips is right there and they super rowdy, and they on a different type of time, and you peeping from far away, being situationally aware, you're tough enough to walk through that and get through that and deal with that. Okay, cool, right? But you don't have to, because they didn't see you. They don't even have to see you. You can be like, all right, I'm just go over here for now, because they on rowdy time. Be situationally aware. So that's my thing when it comes to fans and their jerseys in New York City. Be situationally aware. If you at the game, you got your jersey on, cool. Once you leave the arena, put it in your book bag and go watch your day. Because people gonna rush you a little bit. So yeah, on one hand, it is kind of whack. But on the other hand, I like the fact that it's like, yo, this is what we jacking. And honestly, even though I'm not a Knicks fan, in soccer is on the next level. This, if you go different soccer games and it's that team's home game and you're a rival, it could get kind of interesting in the stands. You're gonna have to take a couple of fades. So again, be situationally aware. Root for your team, but be situationally aware. But I get it though. You want to be able to represent your jersey regardless where you at. Is it kind of whack? It is. It is. I will say that it is kind of whack. But on the other side, I get it at the same time too. So, but I don't think everywhere should be like that. I don't even think in New York it should really be like that for real. Like, it's New York City. It's a casual I don't want to say it's a casual fan base because you got rabid fans in New York City. But the point that I'm making is that it's like I get it, but it is kind of whack. So it does have some whack still, but I definitely get it though. Half the games are over because we get we got we got real shit to handle with Texas for real business about our sons and our fathers word life. But I see what you did though with the hearts though with the Knicks colors. I see what you did there. That was kind of fly. I see what you did there. Rowan Jack hooligans. New York City is going crazy right now. Yeah, I mean, it was one guy that had the Spurs jersey, and he just wasn't situationally aware. He fought back, and I think that's what made it even worse. When he fought back, they got up on him. They bloodied his mouth. If that is that whack, for sure, absolutely whack, absolutely trash. Everybody should be able to go to the game, support their team, wear the jersey. I get that. I get that. But you also have to be situationally aware. If you see something that's going down, and even if you just take your jersey off and you go about your business, is the juice worth the squeeze? Is the juice worth the squeeze? Again, I'm a Michigan fan. I'm a Michigan fan. If I go to a Michigan and Ohio game, I have to be cognizant on what my jersey is going to do. So, me personally, I'm not wearing my jersey to an Ohio State, excuse me, Ohio versus Michigan game at Ohio. The reason why I won't wear a Michigan jersey is because I'm a little low key kind of crazy. I know for a fact that if somebody was to throw something at me because I am a Michigan fan, I'm not going to take that lightly, bro. You see what I'm saying? You ever seen sinners? I'm going to fly. I'm going to raise. It's going to get shaky. But I could avoid all that and be situationally aware and just enjoy the game and watch my Michigan beat up Ohio State. I could just enjoy that. That's good enough for me. Being situationally aware because I'm crazy. Somebody hit me with something. Oh, best believe I'm gonna ruin the rest of your day. Y'all know. I mean, yeah. You kind of know when somebody. I'm not gonna say nothing else, but my point was well made. I'm being situationally aware. Now, if I could go to a game and what I'm saying, and I got the other team jersey on, and it's just an atmosphere for just everybody just to support the team, then I'll do that, right? But gotta be situationally aware. Do I think this will happen in the future? I don't. I don't think you'll see any more of uh, players or people supporting the other team in New York, whether it's a Brooklyn Nets game, whether it's a New York Knicks game, where you see people jerseys getting ripped off and beat up. I don't think you'll see that moving forward. I really don't. I think it really left a bad taste in the mouth on the look of what New York City is and how engulfed in sports we are, because we are engulfed in sports in New York City, being from New York, and things can get shaky and be crazy as well. But that was a bad look. I don't think we'll see that moving forward. But I think part of the reason why we've seen it is mainly because it was 53 years. People caught into the motion. The Knicks lost that night, might I add. And I think it was a learning moment for people to see that and to speak out against it. Because most people that spoke about it spoke against it. They spoke against it. I'm probably the only one that's I understand it because I'm from the town. I understand it. I understand it. It's like, yo, we don't wear that over here. I understand that, but at the end of the day, that left a bad taste and it was a bad look on New York City sports, and I don't think you'll see that moving forward. I don't think you'll see that moving forward. And this is why I say all the time, man. This is the only reason why I like New York is kind of like it pisses me off that we don't have a college football team and that there's no football team, there's no college football or no NFL team in New York City. That's majorly whack. Super whack. There's no college football team and there's no NFL team in New York City. That is trash. In every other sport, we got teams in New York City. You got the Knicks, you got the Nets in New York City. You have the Mets in New York City. You have the Yankees in New York City. No NFL team in New York City. No college football team in New York City. And I'm talking about major college football team. There's Fordham University, I believe they're D1 AA. Columbia's D1 AA. And I believe Long Island University, I believe they're D1 AA as well. But there's no major college. I don't understand why there's not. I don't understand why New York University doesn't have a football team and a D1 football team, like a top tier football team. Is New York City. Like we're as you can see, we love sports in New York City. We love sports and we support it. And NFL, why don't you have a football team in New York City? I'm just saying. There should be a football team in New York City. It should be two football teams in New York City. College football and the NFL. Some people say you got Buffalo. Hey man, but yeah, man, if Buffalo win a Super Bowl, New York City won't be like, yo, bring the parade over here. People still gonna go to school tomorrow. People gonna be like, oh, all right, that's what's up. People don't care Buffalo. In New York City, people don't care Buffalo won if they would have won the Super Bowl. They won't care. Now, New York City love Giants. They love the Giants. They love the Jets. Believe it or not, you got a lot of people that love the Jets in New York City. But neither one of them play in New York City. They both play in Jersey. They don't. New York City doesn't have a New York City team. Have one of those teams relocate to New York City. It's that simple. It's plenty of space in Brooklyn. It's plenty of space on Long Island. If they had the team somewhere at Nassau County, something like that, those games would be flooded with just straight people from the city. It would be flooded. Flooded. I can understand because you already got a team in Manhattan, which is the Knicks. You already got a team in the Bronx, which is the Yankees. You already got a team in Queens, which is the Mets. You already got a team in Brooklyn, which is the Nets. Bring the Giants and bring them to Long Island. Put them right there in Nassau. Nassau got enough space and it's easy to drive to. It's super easy to drive to. Put them right there in Nassau. Somebody gonna say, why not Staten Island? Y'all know why not Staten Island. Y'all know why. Y'all know why not Staten Island. Y'all know why. You said low key. You said low key. You crazy. Stop it. No, when I say I'm low key crazy, when I say that, I really mean that. I really mean that. I don't take disrespect lightly, and I know me. I don't let men disrespect me at all. I take that very seriously. That's why I say that. That's why I say I'm not gonna put myself in a situation that I know I'm gonna react to. So I don't put myself in that situation. If I wear a Michigan jersey, I don't think you understand that you think the beef between the Knicks and the Spurs. Do your research on Michigan and Ohio. The beef is so crazy. They actually putting the beef into the new game. It's crazy. So I know for a fact if I go to their game at Ohio and somebody hit me with something, because Michigan, we're gonna be stomping that ass. Yeah, I can't even. It's just. Shout out to my dog Fam. Fam is in the building. You already know what's up. My dude, hit the likes, the 100s, that was the growth of the show. It still feels like a dream, New York Knicks won the NBA championship. that's a big congratulations to y'all. I'm dead serious. I'm dead serious. Even though, like I said, I always joke that we will win our championship before y'all, but in all seriousness, y'all deserved it. Y'all won it. Y'all won it. Y'all won it, man. All respect due. All respect due. I'm not a hater. That's one thing I did tell y'all. I said, yo, if y'all do win, y'all in the position to win. I'm not a hater. I'm gonna congratulate because there was a lot of Knicks fans when Brooklyn, when we was on our run, and before Kyrie got hurt, and then Harden showed up to Game 6 all limpy and shit, and then KD, his foot was it touched the line it was a whole bunch of New York Knicks fans that's yo, real talk, if y'all win, yo, we right there with y'all. So I can't hate, you know what I'm saying? Like I can't hate on that type of energy. You know what I'm saying? Even though low key I know y'all didn't want us to win, but it's cool. Y'all still was gonna support. So that's the point that I'm making. I'm just not a hater. I'm not a hater. We all say things in sports that is competition based. Is we all talk our shit a little bit. It's like, yeah, my team better than yours, or our franchise this, our franchise that. But when real things happen, like y'all winning the finals, yo, you just gotta respect it and congratulate. For a fact, the Giants can play. It's that dollar, and my Jets could play in the Bronx. Yeah, nah. Yeah, nah. Yeah, nah. 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 No. 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 And mind you, if the Giants played in Staten Island, it would be packed every game. It would be packed. It will be packed. That's a fact. That's a fact. If the Giants played in Staten Island, that game would. If the Giants played in any borough, it would be packed. It would be packed. But you know Staten Island like I know Staten Island, bro. It's hell getting in and it's hell getting out, bro. Come on. Come on. It's not convenient, bro. Nassau. Put them in Nassau. Put them in Nassau County. Easy to get to, easy to dip. It's gonna be packed. Everybody gonna be at them games. That's for sure. That's for sure. The Jets, same thing with the Jets. I honestly believe because there's a lot of fandom for the Jets, but New York in itself could be overtook if either franchise would move into the city. I really believe that. Like so for example, if the Giants chose to stay in New Jersey and play in New Jersey, if the Jets say, "Yo, we're gonna move the franchise, like the field and everything like that, we're gonna move it in New York City," whether it's Manhattan won't happen because Manhattan already has the Knicks, and Dolan will make sure that there's no other franchise on the Knicks caliber. Like football is football, right? Hockey is different. Hockey is not the same. Football is a religion. You put football in Manhattan, that's just it's too much. It's too much. And then you got the Bronx. That's what if you notice, right? Each borough has its own big market, right? Bronx, that's all Yankee. Yankee, like you better not bring the Knicks up here. Knicks all in Manhattan. Like, hey, you better not bring the Bronx. You better not bring the Yankees over here. So they do that on purpose. And then when you have the Mets being in Queens, and then Brooklyn, with the Nets being in Brooklyn, that's all on purpose. So if you're gonna balance it out, automatically you will say, yo, Staten Island is the automatic choice. Yeah, nah, put them in Staten Island. Put them in put them in Nassau County. Put them in Long Island. It's cool. Don't put them in Long Island like don't put them like in Inwood. No, that's Queens. Don't put them like deep in Long Island. Don't put them like exit 166, like over where oh my God, like Stony Brook. Don't put the Giants or the Jets over there if you move them to Long Island. Don't put them where Stony Brook is at. Put them in like Nassau County, like right there, exit like over by like Hofstra or something like that, like in that type of parameter, type of area. Put them like over there where Nassau's at. Put them in that type of area. You know what I'm saying? Don't put them deep into LI, Brentwood, and nah. That's not gonna be good. It's not gonna be good. The Giants can play. It's not like Oishida holding others accountable for the ignorance correctly is very important. I hear the Knicks haven't done this since 1973 or 95. No, so 1973 was the last time they won. The last time the Knicks have been in the championship was 1999. They went in 94 and they went in 99. The 94 team is the Patrick Ewing, the John Starks team. In 99, they had no chance of winning. Even though I like that team. I like that Knicks team in 99. Allen Houston, Latrell Sprewell, Grandmama, Larry Johnson, aka Larry Johnson, or older Patrick Ewing. Who's their point guard at that time? Oh my God. Was it still? I think it was still Childs and Ward. Yeah, it was Childs and Ward. It was Childs and Ward because that first team, yeah, it's definitely Childs and Ward. Definitely Childs and Ward. So I like that team, but and Childs is my dude. Like if I had an all-time NBA team, Childs is on my team. I like it, me personally, me being from New York City, well, being from Brooklyn, I like my team to be a little goonish, you know what I'm saying? So on my all-time team coming off the bench, you'll see a guy like Charles and Rasheed Wallace and Ron Artest. Like I like my team kind of goonish, you know what I mean? And that's just me personally. But I like that Knicks team on that 99 team. They just young Tim. If y'all have ever seen young Tim Duncan, I mean that guy he was nice. And then he playing with David Robinson on his way out. David Robinson could still go at that time. They had a good team. They just yeah. But both of those teams lucked up because the Bulls broke their team up that year too. So they lucked up. This is when Jordan retired twice, his second time in his prime, which was crazy. But that team was a good team. That was a good team. That was a resilient team too. But that 94 team was also good. That 94 team, a younger Patrick Ewing, Charles Oakley, Charles Smith, John Starks, not Ron Harper, it was Derek Harper, Rolando Blackman. They had a squad. Anthony Mason, my dog Bebop. Yeah, they had a squad. They had a squad. They had a squad for sure. And it's crazy. Every time the Knicks, now that I think about it, every time the Knicks went to the finals, Jordan retires. That's crazy, right? Because in 93, they won their last finals. Jordan retired after the 93 season. In 94, the Knicks go to the finals, right? In 98, they just did their second three-peat on Chicago Bulls. And then, Jerry Krause breaks the team up, right? And then the Knicks go to the finals. That's crazy, right? That's crazy. That's not a coincidence, right? Jordan had shit on the lockdown in the chokehold. You know what I'm saying? But that's a fact, though. I just realized that. That's very interesting. Very interesting. And I always believed that if Jordan never retired, they would have won at least. I believe they beat the Rockets in 94. Rockets in 95, I don't know. That could have been touch and go. But I do believe they beat that San Antonio Spurs team in 99 for sure. San Antonio couldn't do nothing with that Bulls team that had Rodman, Jordan, Ron Harper, Scottie Pippen, Steve Kerr. They couldn't do nothing with them. Couldn't do nothing with them. And some people say, nah, they had Duncan and they had David Robinson. Yes, that's true. David Robinson and Tim Duncan uh, was great players, but you still had Dennis Rodman on that team, and he's guarding Tim Duncan. He will make Tim Duncan work. Now, one thing Chicago had back then too, they had big bodies. They had Jabil Winningtons. They had the Luke Longleys. those are big bodies for a guy like David Robinson. Now, is these guys on the same level as David Robinson? No, but they're still bodies that they could, they could wear them out. So, but they had no answer for Jordan. None. Couldn't do nothing with Pippen, and you have no answer for Jordan. So I believe they would have won 99 as well. But, Knicks went to the championship. They lost. But again, major shout out to the New York Knicks. They won the championship. They won the finals. It's not hard for me to say that the New York Knicks is the 2026 NBA champions. Congratulations and salute. Again, shout out to their team. They did their big one. And man, it's great for the city and it's great for the sport. It really is. People don't realize how big a sports town New York is, especially in basketball. So again, it's nothing but love. Shout out to maybe in the building. Appreciate you for tapping and hit them likes, hit them 100s. And he did say Charles. He did correct me and say Charles. Who was better, Charles or Jameer Nelson? I'm gonna have to go with Jameer Nelson. I'm gonna have to go with overall. I'm gonna have to go with Jameer Nelson. But I really like Child's game. You know what I'm saying? I really like Child's game. And Child's had the quickest two-piece in the history. You know what I'm saying? You need a scrappy dude like that on your team. So I'm gonna say Jameer Nelson. Jameer Nelson was extremely tough. Jameer Nelson actually, Brunson reminds me of Jameer Nelson. It's just Jameer Nelson obviously is shorter. But their games mirror each other. Jameer Nelson was tough. He was tough. He was tough. I like Jameer Nelson. He was tough. They asked one thing I wanted to say that the analytics can't measure to play your heart. That's a fact. That's a fact. That is a fact. Presence, you can't measure presence and heart. So that's a fact. Shout out to my dog Patrick, one of our day ones, one of our big badge holders. Appreciate you for tapping in, man. Yeah. So yeah, man. I want to thank y'all for tuning and tapping in. I'm here every Sunday, every Wednesday at 10:30. I appreciate y'all for engaging, showing that love, whether we agree or not. Whether we agree or not, y'all know it's all love, and I appreciate you as always. Again, I drop videos daily, so continue to engage, show that love, and the likes, that subscribe, share, and continue to show major support. I appreciate everyone in the chat. Um, this probably run out in 60 seconds. So again, I want to thank the sponsor of the show, which is Button Snaps. Button snaps.com. I want to thank OUV Records. Make sure you tap into OUV Records. Make sure you tap into me on Instagram at Ashley Lovechild. Also, again, do not be an agent of chaos. Do not be a stain to somebody that try to stand up by being negative. Have the ability to stand up by being positive. Lose that Willie Lynch mindset. Lose that it can only be one mindset. The only op we recognize over here is opportunity. We celebrate life culture over here. Hate has a location. It's just not here. And again, I appreciate y'all as always. And again, I'm back in the building this Wednesday. I can't believe Sunday came so quickly today. But Wednesday is going to be here before you know it. And I'm going to see y'all again. And again, be on the lookout for these videos because they coming. They continue to come every single day. And I love y'all all. Seriously, I mean that wholeheartedly. It's love. And I'll see y'all this Wednesday. I'm out.